You are now listening to the Sae Bae Cast, the #1 old school RuneScape podcast featuring guests from all across Galanor. To support this podcast, visit the Patreon link in the description.
All right, welcome to the Sae Bae Cast number 124 with Badman. Badman, how are we doing this fine afternoon for you?
Yeah, afternoon, 6 o'clock for me. I'm doing great, man. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited to talk. I look forward. What you remind me of is someone like BC Guppy, who is at least during his prime, he was just a total gamer. And I just love talking to gamers. I've realized, like, obviously I like talking to everybody, but there's something deep in my heart that I just love talking to somebody that's feels the same about the game, where it's just, I don't know, you can kind of nerd out a little bit. So I'm excited.
I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time. I don't know if I'd consider myself a gamer. I remember you saying this stream yesterday. I think I'm just a grinder more so than an actual gamer.
Well, regardless, I mean, come on, grinder, gamer, it's the same thing. Honestly, you're so for those listening, if you guys want to look up Badman is an Ironman, and he is an absolute beast. You can just look up his stats and his boss KCs. And are you just like a dedicated pet hunter? Is that what you would consider yourself?
At this point, I'd say so, yeah. I think I've just, like, my goal was always gear, and as I've got closer and closer to having all the gear, it's just like, what do I do next? And so I enjoy killing bosses. I'll just carry on. I might as well.
Okay.
That's how it kind of all started.
Okay. Well, pet hunting's not all just bosses, right? Have you done a bunch of the AIDS pets yet? Like
I pretty much just have bad stuff left. My only skill in pets runecrafting left, thankfully.
Okay, that's not bad. Wait,
pretty much everything left is bad in my opinion.
What about like Temperos and Zolcano? I don't know. I guess I consider Temperos, Zolcano, Wintertodd all like skilling pets, even though they're not considered in the collection log.
Temperos was at about half rate, and Zolcano, I've got to admit, I spooned that massively. I think it was like 400 KC, maybe less. Okay, so not bad. They weren't too much of a problem.
So what's the one you're least looking forward to that you have left?
What I've got left, right? I'll list off what I've got left first.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I need Sarah, Bandos, Zami, so 3 God Wars, Theatre of Blood, which I'd say is the one I'm most looking forward to, Bloodhound, Penance Queen, and Runecrafting.
Oh, okay. Bloodhound, yeah, that might take a while.
I have neglected my clues really badly on my account, so that is going to it's going to take me forever. If I'm doing a boss, I want to stay killing the boss. I don't want to stop and go do clue scrolls, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm looking here, 345. Oh man.
I went for my flare trousers recently, and to put it into perspective, I guess I had 2 easy clues done. And that was about 6 months ago, I think.
Okay.
I went for that.
Wow, 1,300 for those.
Yeah, it took a while.
Yeah. Well, who knows, man? I mean, not everyone pulls a Casey. I mean, most people don't. I've pulled 2 Bloodhounds. I got 2 within 600, so, there's always hope.
Yeah. It might happen, and at least I've got the Callisto method now, which I do enjoy. I've done that a little bit, to be honest.
True.
I really do enjoy that. And we've got the Desert Treasure 2 bosses, which I'm also hoping have a good clue rate to make up for my lack of clue completions.
I'm really hoping so too. I have a strong feeling that at least one of the bosses will have an insane clue rate, and I don't know. They just need to. I just want more variety with clues. Even if they were to make it just as fast as Sarachnis, for example, like that would be enough.
Like I think Musfer was a good starting point, and the fact that it dropped both hards and elites.
Yep. That's always like
really good.
Yeah, I always love like the double tier clues, hards and elites. It's just, you can't beat it. So, yeah, but I'm definitely like a clue scroller. During your like 1,300 easies, did you start enjoying it, or are you just like kind of like a hater of clues?
If I'm dedicated to doing just clue scrolls, it's fine. I think it's more the stopping and starting what I'm doing. So, for example, say Musfer, when I was going for the pet, every time I get a clue, it's like, I can't just keep killing the boss. I've got to go do this clue, or get the easies, mediums, and hards for the masters, and then go back. I'd rather just stay with what I'm doing
That's fair. Yeah, that's basically everybody.
It's repetition, really.
I know, okay, this is kind of unpopular. Actually, I don't really know how unpopular this is, but I want to hear your take on this. So Alkin thinks, and he was an RS3 player for a long time, he thinks that presets should come into old school, like bank presets, where you can literally just click one button and your entire loadout gets equipped and shoved into your inventory. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I wouldn't say I'm for or against it. I guess we've already got we make our own tabs, and generally speaking, it's really fast for us to gear anyway with those presets. But having just a click of a button is convenient. Then you've got things like runes and rune pouches. I don't know. I think I'd be okay with it. Like I say, not really for or against, but if it came into the game, I'm not going to be like posting on Reddit, getting angry. How dare they bring this to my game?
Yeah, I sometimes wonder, I'm like, would I be for this? Because I think there is a way to release presets that would be like a really healthy way to bring it out if it was. Now, I'm pretty indifferent to it, just to make it clear to everybody. But I was thinking, like, what if there was a fee? Like, you could pay for presets, so you could have up to, like, I don't know, 5 presets or something, similar to like Toa a little bit, where you can like kind of load up stuff.
Yeah, so you mean like kind of like how you buy bank space, you also buy the presets. So you can have like a certain amount of presets.
Yeah, and it would be like, okay, maybe 10 mil for the first one, 20 mil for the next one, 50 mil for the third one, 100 mil, and then maybe like 200 mil or something. Just like it goes up for convenience sake, but something that is literally a big gold sink, which is healthy for the game's economy, and as well you get that nice little convenience thing. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. It would be almost like a bank tag layout, because you could just obviously shove everything in there and put it exactly how you like, and then you could just click load out. And the problem is, I just wonder what negative effects that has on the game in the long run, if any. Like, obviously, it'll change a fundamental part of banking and stuff, but I don't know. Is there
It depends if there's a way to limit things, because I guess maybe like if you're going to do a piece of, say, PVM content or PvP content, I guess it's not too bad. But then when it comes to like skilling, you just click a button and like your inventory's full, and then maybe it fills up your rune pouch as well. Maybe that's a bit too excessive.
Yeah, but do you even know of like one example that would actually be broken? Like maybe like super combats barely, but like, because you just click one button, you have your whole inventory of super combat, or like the 7777.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't think of anywhere where it'd be too broken. And I think generally speaking, with this game, as the years have went on, things have gotten easier anyway. Like, again, I'm not really. I guess it's more of a question for the skilling community, in my opinion, because I think it's those that it would affect the most, and I think they would be all against it. To be perfectly honest, I think
100%. I mean, you bring up any update and they're against it. It could be something that is very good as well, but they'll be against it. I feel like skillers are the skilling community. Obviously, the skilling community is very broad. We could generalize it into one little niche, but I think skillers are generally the players that least like updates. They would rather no updates happen at all, which I can definitely understand, because I'm a little bit like that in certain aspects. I kind of like the quote unquote old school feel, the kind of medieval charm.
I mean, as nice as it is, but at least in my opinion, it's kind of started to drift away. From that, I guess, from how it used to be.
Yeah, it has.
Never be like the old days.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna ask right up front. All right, what are your thoughts on old school RuneScape? I've been asking a lot of my guests this. I'm just curious what people think about it.
You mean in the sense of like if they bought out a private server that was like how it was when they first released old school?
Yeah, but it would be an official server from Jagex.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Um,
and obviously, like, everybody's idea of it is different, because when you say old school, you're like, what is that even going to entail? So I'll just bring up my idea of it. It's basically no content updates, but there will still be bug fixes and banning bots and stuff like that, and you get all the quality of life as well that we enjoy today. It's the entire concept is keep the content exactly the same as it was in 2013.
as much as like the nostalgia in me wants to be like, yes, I want it. Yes, I want it. Bring it back. Bring it back. I think it would hit like after a couple of years. I kind of think it would die down because people would just get to the end game of that. Obviously, there's no. What was the end game? Was it Barrows when Old School first came out? That was like it. I
Yeah,
think because we
and
didn't even have God Wars, did
I
we?
think we had DKs right at the beginning.
Yeah. DKs were there. Yeah.
DKs, KVD, Barrows, and probably KQ.
Yeah. And that was it. So,
But
as much as I say, as much as the nostalgia side me would love to see it, I don't think it would work.
I mean, it definitely wouldn't be popular. That's not the point of it. The point of it would be for those people that want something that'll remain consistent. Because as I was saying, like, there definitely is part of the community that doesn't want change. They just don't. And so if you could release a world, or just, like, I don't know, a few different worlds, I guess would be, I don't know how many worlds it would take. I don't know how popular it would be. It'd probably be banging at the beginning, and then, of course, as you say, like, it would just die down. But I don't know. I think it would be really cool to see that. And
yeah, it would be interesting to see it because
and,
I still remember the first day Old School came out. Now it'll be similar to that all over again.
yeah, and plus, like, you don't need to go super hard. Like, if you want to take a break, you can take a break from it, go back to the main game, and then you're like, oh, I'm really feeling that nostalgia hit, or, like, you know, nothing's changed in this game, so I can go back and just kind of relive it. And I don't know. I think there's something really charming about, like, just the classic RuneScape. And, you know, I don't really know what would be even the biggest flex. Maybe, like, I don't know, just it goes back to, like, XP and, like, bank value. Like, there could be bank sales, dude. Imagine bank sales. Like, oh my God, that would be incredible.
Oh yeah, bank sale. I'd not seen that in such a long time. Bank sales. That's bringing back nostalgia as well. It's just everywhere. Bank sale, bank sale.
Dude, you
Or
just,
when you'd go to was it 302? I think, and you'd have like different areas where people sold items.
yeah,
They'd bring all that back.
yeah.
Some real nostalgia.
Bruh, I remember being so poor and just looking for bank sales. And I, like, the dude would literally know I'm a noob. And it's just like, this is a waste of my time to put up all my items up once again. But he would do it, and I would just look, and I'm like, dude, you are, like, what I would do for your bank. Like, oh my God, you know, just, I loved that. That was one of the best parts of playing as a kid, just seeing people's wealth.
Yeah, so I was always a bit more of a. When I was younger, I was always into the PKM, which might be surprising for some people.
Oh, shit.
So I was a very, well, not so much hybrid, but like edge style PK, and kind of like they've tried to bring back with Bounty Hunter. I used to spend a lot of my early years doing that.
Mm. So what kind of, do you just stop? Like, did you just stop enjoying
Well,
it, or
they
what?
took the wilderness away. That was the kicker. I've been playing since the beginning of 2005. I did quickly go and have a look and try and figure out when it actually was. It was at the start of 2005, and I vividly remember the wilderness being taken away because I was grounded at the time. And I remember my real life friend phoning me, and I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" And he was like, "I don't know how to tell you this, dude. They've taken the wilderness out."
No.
And I was grounded at the time, and I was like, "Mum, I have to go on the PC. I need to go on the computer now. Something really bad's happened. I need to check." And I was so upset.
Yeah, I quit when that happened. It wasn't because of the wilderness, it was because of free trade.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah.
It just totally ruined the feel of the game. Like, just the random encounters you would get where, you know, you could just trade somebody some stuff, or like your friend logs in, you can just trade him some stuff, or, you know, some random rich dude wants to trade you 100K because he feels bad for you. Like, that was important for me, and them taking that away just completely destroyed the game in my eyes.
Yeah, I feel like I did take a break a little bit afterwards, but then I've constantly been addicted to this game. I haven't had many breaks, so I was straight back to it eventually.
Really? Like no breaks at all since. So wait, did you start at the beginning of old school?
So actually, I started at the beginning of old school and I only played for 6 weeks. And then I said to myself, I'm getting too addicted to this. I need to stop. And then about a year later, I came back and haven't looked back since. So that was the longest. Yeah, that was the longest break, I believe.
That was back when we had a little bit of self-awareness. Like maybe I shouldn't spend all this time on this game. You're like, fuck it. Just go
Yeah,
for it.
no, I mean, at the time I was still hunting for a job. And then in my mind, it's like, I can't play this game and look for a job. I have to get a job, get a bit stable, and then
Okay, I see.
maybe I can go back.
Yeah. So
And then the previous time with the OC, I also quit then. Those are like the only two standout moments for me.
Okay. And when did you start streaming? I just recently discovered you.
Yeah, it's only a year ago. Well, I
Okay.
say only, it feels like yesterday now, but about a year ago
Okay.
is when I started taking it seriously. I had done like a couple here and there, like many years ago. But when I decided, right, I want to give it a go, full-time streaming, it's about a year ago.
Hell yeah. No, it's a really great place. But by the way, for those listening, down in the description, I'll have Badman's Twitch and Twitter. Do you have a YouTube?
I've got a YouTube account, but it's mostly like older videos that I made when I was like a child. So I don't really.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not something that's actively being used.
Okay. Well, the streams are phenomenal, man. They're just very chill, and obviously we don't get much of the high level Ironman gameplay on the Twitch scene. But there's a lot of Ironman accounts are mostly like remakes or just like in that mid game. It's just there's something about just remaking and just kind of permanently grinding that early game stuff that seems to be very appealing to most people. But I love seeing accounts that are very, very progressed. And I wish Novacy would stream more consistently as well.
I do as well. I don't want to get on a tangent with that. I constantly say to him, like, why are you not streaming? And it's like, oh, when you get into 100 master clues, it's time for the stream. But now he's got the bloodhound, it looks like.
Oh,
He's maybe
yeah.
stopping.
Crap. What is he going to do now? He still has some sort of openings he can do on stream, right?
I hope so. And I know he started doing Barbarian Assault, but I don't think he's going to be opening stream to do some Barbarian Assault gambles.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what he's going to be doing, but I hope that he does.
Well, here's
It's always a blast every time he goes live.
Totally. I love that guy. He's awesome. And I think part of the problem, at least this is projection on my end, but it might be the case, is sometimes when you have like streams where you're not just having a ton of fun, like as in you've stacked up a bunch of caskets and you can just have like an all out, just totally fun stream with all that, like a bunch of dopamine. It feels bad going live without that. It's like, oh, as much as maybe in your head you're thinking, well, as much as people want me to go live, I'm not going to be able to do like the fun content that they associate with my stream now. And so that kind of, I don't know, that at least goes into my head, because I do have streams where I'm like, I'm just going to be doing some Sepulchre, or I'm just going to be doing some really boring stuff. But I don't know, people like just watching a streamer.
Yeah,
game.
well, we all like it. And like, at the end of the day, we like him as a person. That's what I'm constantly being told. Like at the minute, I'm spending my time running around in circles doing God Wars. Like no one's coming because they want to watch someone do God Wars for 3,000, 5,000 kills. They're coming for the person.
Exactly. Yeah, so Novacy is definitely listening right now. You better go live, bro. You need to start going live. I need it. I need it in my blood.
Yeah, we all need it.
So
Novus will definitely be listening.
Yeah, he 100% will. So I want to get to know you a little bit more, because I feel like, as I mentioned on the tweet, I think you're a hidden gem in the old school section. I think like there's a bunch of streamers as well that like, it's just I don't find them forever, and then I randomly find them like damn, like this is a great streamer. So you're on that list, man. So
I appreciate it. It's very kind words from you.
Yeah, it's fun being in there. So let me get to know you a little bit more. So where are you from, by the way?
I'm from the UK. I don't say exactly what city. I'm from down south though.
Have you just lived there your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much. Very close to I live very close to my family and not really moved around
Okay.
too much. Always been here.
Can I ask how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 29.
Okay.
But according to my chat, I'm 42 apparently.
My chat says the same thing. When I grow my beard out, they think I'm older, and then when I shave it, they think, well, actually, I don't know. If I were to go clean shaven now, I'd probably still be considered 40. But when I first started shaving, if I was babyface, they thought I was like 18.
Yeah, it's constant. I look at my driver's license and it's a picture of me from when I was 18, and I was like, I don't look any different. I look the exact same.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I want to hear a little bit more about, like, I guess your RS adventure, because you were originally a PKer, and then you quit with EOC, and then with the release of Old School, were you just a main and then turned into an Ironman, or what?
So where did you want me to start? I can kind of break a lot of it down.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning, and then I want to hear mainly about your Old School kind of journey.
Yeah, so I'll briefly go over the beginning. So I started off as a main, as everyone does when they first discover the game. And I vividly remember cutting user Edgeville. I think I was like base 50 stats. And then some random dude comes up to me and goes, "Want to fight?" And I saw that he was in like monk robes, green D high chaps because I was free to play. And I was like, "Oh, this is easy kill." I never knew what a pure was. Proceeded to die within about 10 seconds and instantly logged out of the account. I was like, "What's just happened?" So I look up the guy's account, see his stats, and it's like, a pure. That looks interesting. And pretty much from then on, I started making pures, which slowly progressed into making Berserker pures, which is what I mainly played. And that covered about most of my time until EOC came out. I did have a main for a little bit, but then bounced back between other Berserker pures. When Old School came back, I also got a Berserker pure and mostly played that. Took my break that I said about earlier, came back, carried on playing the Berserker pure, and then the Ironman mode came out. And I didn't make my account straight away, but after a couple of months, some friends convinced me to try making one. Some real life friends were teasing me, "You can't get Barry's gloves on an Ironman." And I was like, "I'll prove you wrong." Thinking that I'd just do that and then go back to the Berserker pure, and I've pretty much played this account ever since, to be honest.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there's something really special about. So wait, so this is your first ever Ironman, correct? And you've never made another one?
Yeah, I've never remade. I've not made like a hardcore. I've not made a group Ironman. It's just strictly been this account from there on out, pretty much.
Dude, those were really the golden days when Ironman mode first came out. Like,
Yeah, so I think it must have been about 3 or 4 months. I'm not like exact with my times. It's roughly around that.
mm-hmm.
Yes, those were the golden days.
Were you watching like YouTube and Twitch back then, or were you mainly just gaming?
My memory's a bit there's lots of like patchy spots there. I think I remember watching some. Not too sure if I really watched much Iron Man content at the time though.
Hmm. Yeah, because I remember like watching Curtis before I had even made this account. I remember watching Curtis and just being like, dude, obviously getting to that point would just take so long. I remember thinking that because actually it might have been when this account was already created, just in its baby stages. But I remember Curtis hunting like his Dragon Warhammer and just looking at his account and just being like, bro, you are loaded. Like, you are absolutely stacked on this account, and this is like,
yeah,
it's like the dream account. I just remember thinking like, dude, like, that is the dream, to have an Iron Man that looks like a main. Like, how cool is that? Yeah, those are, and I used to listen to a bunch of Lelador rambles and those like early erudite podcasts.
Yeah.
So I still recommend people listen to those. Like, that really, it goes to show how crazy how different the mindset was back then. Now, of course, we're only
completely different now. Compared to now.
It's so different. Like, people were literally freaking out about like the littlest quality of life. And obviously, it's not like the general player base that we're hearing from. We are hearing from like the most, nerdiest of nerds in the game. But still, it's fascinating to listen back there and like listening to Lelador on the release of Zulrah, because Iron Man was just a few months prior to Zulrah, and hearing how that was going to completely like change the game. Then Winter Todd being released and being absolutely broken.
Oh yeah, Winter Todd, yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Zora, Luminal.
So you must have started right after Zora, right?
So I think the way that I remember, Zora came out, and for some reason, I'm not too sure why, I decided to pet hunt Zora on my Zerka
Mm.
or Berserker Pure. And then once I got that, it was only about 1,500 kills. It was around after that. So in terms of time frame, I'm not too sure how long after, but that's pretty much the order that it went in.
Mm. Did you get your Infernal Cape relatively early, or how was that for you when that was
The
released?
Infernal Cape. So I got, I think it was about 6 months after release. In fact, I have the one of the few things I did stream, even though I wasn't a streamer, was my first ever cape. I can actually go and check the date on it, or just roughly how long ago. It was a fair few years ago. But I pretty much maxed and then got it with an ACB, and then got my T-bow a
Sheesh.
week later, of course.
Of course. Of course. That's what
Pretty much how
happens.
it went. I maxed, got my Infernal Cape, went back to Chambers, got my T-bow. I was like, oh, okay.
So 6 months out, was that like in December, or was that like the next year? Was that because Inferno released 2017, correct? Yeah, June 2017, I believe.
Top of my head, I'm not sure. I can't find it on my clips anymore because it used to be at the top. But ever since I've started streaming, I've got all these stupid clips of me that have racked up loads of views. I can't find it. Oh,
Well,
it just says 5 years ago, so
okay,
it doesn't
okay.
have like a specific date on it.
Dude, I remember around that time, if you had an Infernal Cape on an Ironman, I was just drooling. I just thought you were the king of the game, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's even today, it's still my favorite piece of content, even though I don't speed run it. I've always been a fan of Fight Caves, Inferno. In some ways, the Kiln Cape pre-OC, but that was pretty static, so that wasn't as good. But I've always been a fan.
Let me look up your KCs. Did you
Um,
get Zuck at 52, or did you do post Zuck?
I got Zack at 52. So my
Wow.
KCs on my account aren't too high, and Inferno, all I've done is I've done 5 on my Zerka, and I've also done 2 on 2 pures of mine.
Mm.
So I've done 2 pure capes, but fire capes and kiln capes, at least back in the day. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but another part I kind of cut out is pre-OC. I used to do a lot of fire capes and kiln capes, similar to what Boaty used to do,
Okay.
selling them. Only for in-game gold, but I also had a lowest combat fire cape at one point as well,
Wow, really?
which not many people know about.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, it's just weird. It's fascinating to me to hear of like the people that were PVMing before like old school even came out. Like just the fact that you already had that kind of, obviously they're like different games kind of, and they feel different. But
Yeah, and the difficulty then compared to the difficulty now of what people are doing is night and day. It's nothing special anymore, but at the time it was like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
wow.
No, but it's still like the confidence that you built up prematurely. Like you already had that confidence of like, oh, I've been like a top gamer before. So like Inferno releases and you're like, even though this is way more difficult than anything we've seen, you still are like, well, I've always been, in that upper tier of,
Yeah,
PVMer.
I got slapped in the face when Inferno came out. I remember because I remember when Kiln came out and day one it was I completed it day one. Many people did, and I
Okay.
thought, oh, the Inferno is going to be easy. They're not going to bring out something difficult. And day of release, couple of hours into it, I was eating my words. I'm so happy that I was. Inferno is so good. I can't say
It's
enough good things about it.
it's so good because not even Wooks did it day one. Like that is insane. Like that is like the yeah, that I mean honestly, that is the pillar of great PVM content of like it's not too overwhelming, so it takes like, I've heard of games. What was the game where it like literally took like 4 years for somebody to finally complete this like certain piece of content? It's like
I am not too sure.
it's like some Final Fantasy or I don't know what it was, to be honest. I don't know why that's ringing a bell, but some crazy shit. But like 2 days, I think is really good. And then, even 6 years down the line, people are still seeing this piece of content as very respectable. And
Yeah, and it's so good at teaching you the game as well, in my opinion. Like
Mhm.
doing a fight caves at the end of the day, it's pretty two-dimensional nowadays. But doing the Inferno, you learn so many new things, and it just makes you better at the game as well. So
Yep.
once you do get that completion, it kind of carries over to many other pieces of content, which is why I love it so much.
Totally. And going back to like the confidence is like, not only does it teach you a bunch of skills, but as soon as you get that, you realize, oh, I could probably do everything in the game, if I just put in the hours.
Yeah, it's just putting the hours and putting in your mind to it.
Yeah. So this seems to be a common theme that I talk with my guests, but there seems to be this idea that we'll never get something as challenging as Inferno later down the line, just because it doesn't do as well on Jagex's end. They see like accessibility.
Yeah, I was talking to some other people about this as well, and I think part of it is also the fact that everyone's just gotten so good at the game now as well, with like Grandmaster making people having to push even further to get good at the game. It's going to be, even if they do make something very hard, it's going to be very hard to capture at least half of what the Inferno did on its release, or even Theatre of Blood. They can still make hard content, but just to capture that, a couple of days for completion.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they bring something out soon. I really hope they bring something out soon.
Yeah, and you're actually right
Don't
about
know.
like it's going to be very hard to recapture that perfect balance. I'm just imagining almost like a graph in my head of like the top echelon of gamers, and that has just exponentially rose. Like I just see a line just shooting up from the past 7 years. But
Oh yeah,
the
usually.
base skill level of the vast majority of players is still just a straight line. So
Yeah.
trying to hit a balance of that is going to be even more extreme. I honestly think the only way to get around this and to make a really balanced piece of content is to do something that's endless, like an endless wave where you still have like this, it's the same concept, so it's not like it's not like the next wave is just actually impossible. Like you just keep building upon the next wave, and it becomes so insane that it won't ever be completed. But there will be tiers of like, okay, whatever the difficulty of the Inferno is, you could get your best in slot new something or whatever, or maybe a little bit more difficult. But then as it goes on, you don't have necessarily the same like, oh, I have to get to the very end or whatever. It would just be if you hit other tiers like higher up, you just get cosmetics or something. So there still is incentive for those like super giga gamers, but you're not getting like any like actual crazy best in slot rewards or like crazy GP per hour.
Yeah, it's like people constantly mention Blue Inferno, what they mentioned before. That's not really what you're talking about, I know. But
Yeah.
I just hope it's something, even if you say it's just cosmetic, it's just something that's engaging and hard, and people can keep pushing and pushing further,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily for monetary value, just for challenging themselves.
Yep. Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, I feel like they actually will come out with something probably soon. It'll probably be like, I don't even think they'll talk about it much. It'll just be like a couple months before it's released. They'll just be like, hey, we're introducing Zuck 2.0. I think that's the way they'll do it. I don't even think there'll be much talk. Because they did that.
Yeah, is it the Summer Summit? I mean, potentially they bring it up there. I think they know people are constantly clamoring for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I guess they're kind of pointed in the direction where they need to go. And they've got so much going on with Salem right now.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, because not to get too much into the sailing discussion, but that's part of, like, I just want to say that's part of the reason I voted no, just because of the amount of time they were going to have to invest that could have been spent doing nearly anything else.
Yeah. So we will just get into it. What are your thoughts on a new skill in general? Do you think it's necessary, or are you pretty much?
I don't think it's necessary. I'm quite happy for it, as I kind of briefly mentioned. I know the amount of time that's been invested into it already, and I'm still not too sure if it will or won't pass. And all that time being invested into it for it to just flop and then they go back to the beginning. There's so much wasted time that could have been spent doing something else.
See,
That was always my issue with it.
this is even a bigger worry, is I think just very soon they're going to be polling the actual thing, like, should we progress with sailing? And I just imagine it, like, just imagine it does fail, gets 65% or whatever. Like, they will instantaneously, this is what I can imagine. Obviously, this is not, like, I'm not telling the future exactly, but I would seriously bet money that instantaneously they go back to the drawing board of shamanism and something else, and then so all
Taming,
that,
I think.
yeah, but I don't even know. I don't even think taming would be in the question. I think they would come out with an entirely new thing. It would be like shamanism versus something else, because I think the team sees the revenue and the player base potential, like just growing the player base with a new skill, that they are 100%, and the community's already spoken that, you know, the majority of players do want a new skill, which, you know,
Yeah.
so I actually feel like just pushing for sailing, just like getting sailing into the game would actually almost in a way be a more efficient use of time, rather than going right back to the drawing board and then instantaneously just having a new skill that they're developing again. And then if that fails, it's just like this constant repetition of just,
Yeah, it's just this constant circle of
I don't
wasted
know, though.
time. Whereas if
Yeah.
they just bring out sailing now, it's just like, okay, it's done. We can
Yeah.
make it better, which it will need lots of improvements, but we can actually start focusing some time into other areas of the game.
Yep. I kind of, as much as, you know, I don't know, I'm pretty indifferent to a new skill. I think it could be exciting, but there's so much worry. Like, I just worry about
Yeah,
the
I mean,
game drastically changing.
this might be kind of. I've not even read a single blog post on it. I'm gonna be.
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest. At this point, I'm so disinterested in it. But if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah,
I just wish the time was spent elsewhere. That was all I wished for.
I see. Yeah, I think they're pretty aware of, you know, what players want. This is the thing I kind of worry about with most game updates, like content updates, is I feel like it's way more balanced. Like the balance is skewed. It's like we have to come out with like baby content for like every player. Like every player day one could start playing this and enjoy it. And
Yeah.
like I feel like we get way too much of that. Like,
Oh, there's so much of it.
dude,
Like, I can understand the appeal to doing forestry, but in my mind, it's just why.
dude,
I still don't
forestry,
really get it.
I still haven't made like my, you know, ramble on that, because I just worry, because my thoughts on it, I think, are just going to piss off a lot of people. And so I want to have like a very, very unbiased point of view with forestry and kind of get some like almost some data on my end from Reddit or something, just like seeing what other people feel about it, because it looks like a lot of people are having a good time with it. And I think the reason is because most people saw woodcutting as, like, I'm talking the vast majority of players see woodcutting as like,
Yeah.
chop maples, chop yews, and then chop magic, and then chop redwoods or whatever. It's just the most boring thing ever, where you aren't going to engage in any tick manipulation for, in my opinion, for somewhat good reasons. I think, you know, your wrist has...
Oh yeah, I have never tick manipulated a skill in my life. I hold my hands up. Another
Yeah.
conversation I can already take part in. I've never have.
I know, and that's like
Does not interest me.
that's like, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, like, at all. I mean, so when I hear a forestry, me saying I don't like it makes it seem like I'm an elitist or something, or like, you know, you just don't want other people to have fun. So that's why I'm trying to be like, okay, people are having fun with this, it looks like. I personally wish it was done in a different way. I love the fact that they changed how wood cutting works. I actually really love that having more people around you is actually beneficial. I think,
Yeah, hands down. That part's good.
like,
The
if they
random event simulator, I don't really
it's
get.
weird. It's really weird. It's really Fortnite-y, Toontowny. It's just like, what is going on? And then, you know, the argument would go, I can already imagine this, like, the argument is like, well, you don't have to participate in it, you know? But you have the obligation of, like, if I'm not doing this, I'm it's just it feels bad.
Yeah,
if you're
you
not
kind of
doing it.
yeah, you kind of feel like you have to.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're missing out on
and
something.
it's everywhere now. It's not just in just one area, like a mini game or something. It's like no, it's all around the world now. Here it is, no beta. That's in the game. Like just
Yeah, is it just the Woodcutting Guild and Redwoods? It doesn't
yeah. I think those are the
spawn in, I believe.
only two places. Yeah. Oh, and I believe player grown trees as well don't activate it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just very
Then there's like the part 2 part with all the teas for minigame boosts.
I'm
like,
so scared
I
for that,
don't
dude.
know.
I'm actually so scared because it already feels so convoluted. Like it literally does, and we're just gonna add more bulk to it. Like,
Yeah, it's
come
like,
on.
I'm gonna hunt some clue scrolls. Let me just get my cups of tea out the bank. 1 second.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's worrisome. That's the kind of stuff that kind of worries me, and that's what I kind of feel like sailing. I have this really terrifying feeling that when sailing's released, everything feels baby-ish. It's like you go in there and everything's like fucking Giant's Foundry looking ass stuff. Just like make sure the colors match the colors. Like you're playing a 3-year-old toddler video game. Like what the fuck? Like can we have I don't know. I just worry, man.
Yeah, it's going to be something that they want everyone to get involved in. Then they're going to try and find a way to make it branch into multiple skills they're already going to anyway.
Yeah.
I do believe. And then you're going to feel bad if you're not doing sailing before you take part in that skill and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, we'll see. I hate being like that doomer. I try to be open-minded about stuff, but I just hate it when content comes out and I'm like, this is so dull. It's so dull. And obviously, if I had an account, like just in regards to Forestry, if I had an account that wasn't 99 woodcutting, yeah, I would see that and be like, oh, I'm getting faster woodcutting XP. And okay, great. This is an amazing update. And like you see it in that way of like, oh, this is just something new for me to train my skill faster, which is vast majority of players see it that way. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is just me literally being an elitist boomer that just can't see it because I've just been a max player for way too long now.
Then they can do that without how they've done Forestry. I mean, personally, I really like Guardians of the Rift. I mean, I only went to go for the pet, but if I was to ever make a new account and go for, say, 77 runecrafting off the top of my head, I actually wouldn't have too much of a problem doing Guardians of the Rift personally.
Yeah, that was a well done mini game. They nailed it. It's fast paced. There's skill. Like there literally is skill to it. There's strategy.
Yeah, it's all like the correct timings, and you've got like if you make combination runes, you're going to get rewarded for doing that as well.
Yep.
And as an Ironman, it's nice getting combination runes.
Oh yeah,
certain pieces of content.
And the flow of it, where like every beginning round you get a couple minutes of AFK. That was so good. Yeah. Like that was actually brilliant. I'm so glad they didn't do the Zaya thing where it's just like RNG, just mine one spot and you have to go over to the other side. Like just.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. Zaya RC, those dead assassins. Oh my gosh, I hate that. I hate that kind of stuff.
No, that was when I went for 99 runecrafting. I did that method. That was just a chance to play another game.
Yep.
Turn my brain off.
Yeah.
That's all that exists for.
Did you know they pulled Zaya RC as high intensity, or like high? What did they pull? I'm trying to remember. I think it was like on like the first Automelogy cast or something. He was talking about like the original poll, how it stated. It was like this is going to be like a high APM activity or something. That's gonna.
I don't remember that.
Like what?
I mean, what is it? Clicking the chisel on the desert?
Yeah, that was literally.
Was that supposed to be it?
Yes, that was actually it. Because you had to click your chisel against the little blocks. That was like what they were saying is like high intensity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
not
I don't know what else to say to that really. Never knew that.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Okay. I want to get into some of these topics because we do got quite a few and there's some pretty good ones. Hampshire in the Twitter thread asks top 3 pets.
Okay. I don't know. Is he like? Does it mean look of pets, like hitting the drop rate and getting the drop, or what did you want
Yeah, that's up to you, I guess. He really didn't
to me?
expand on that at all. I would say, let's just say top 3 pets that you want to have out following you for like flex reasons or whatever. Like what would you
Zero,
say?
zero. They go in my house and stay there.
Okay, what about
that is the entirety of my life. I get the pet, and it's like, yep, you're going to my house. Thank you.
Okay,
I mean,
imagine you're going to a friend's max party. What 3 pets are like on your top list of flex? If you were to bring one out.
I think I would bring the KQ pet, but that's more because of what it means to me. The fact that, quick plug, I was the driest Ironman of a KQ pet. So I think I'd bring it for the pure reason of that. Corp pet, I guess, just because it's rare as an Ironman. You don't really see many Corp pets. Hopefully Ginny gets his soon. I don't know if anyone's heard. He's at 51 out of 52.
How much
just needs Corp now.
Let me look him up actually. What's his
case? Like 11k. Is it like 11k now?
Is it 12k now?
12k. Oh my.
Ginny is a gamer, by the way. That guy for those that don't know, he's an Ironman, but he was the first player to get a Zuck helmet. But he was also an Ironman, which is even more impressive.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, the KCs help contribute towards that, but Ginny is a gamer. I've spoken to Ginny a few times. He only just got his BA pet, which is why I bring that up. But yeah, so KQ, Corp, and I quite like the TOA pet. I think if there's one that I liked, it's the TOA pet, and I can tell that it was like carefully designed with the transmogs, in my opinion. It looked quite clean, I guess.
What's your favorite version of it?
I quite like the Akka one, strangely enough.
Ooh, yeah.
I can't explain it. It's just something weird about having a human follow you, I guess, or some human-looking
humanoid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's like kind of dark almost. It's like, holy, this guy's like a literal zombie. Like it's kind of terrifying. It's like having Bloat follow you. Or the weirdest one is having Zilly follow you. That's just strange to me. But yeah.
I wouldn't know. I don't know.
That's true. You wouldn't.
Same as I can't have Bloat follow me.
Yeah. Looks like you're approaching half the rate, so I guess you can't complain yet.
No, not yet. But if I combine all my God Wars together, I can complain. That's what I've been shooting at the minute. I'm just finding every reason I can to complain.
Yeah, I do the same. Yeah, just try to combine stuff and explain to the chat, just like why.
Well, actually, it's been 10k God Wars since my last God Wars pet. I don't care if I'm not on rate on this one.
And regardless of how you explain it, they're still gonna just be like, "Shut up, just shut up."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's horrible
every single time.
Okay, that's cool. I'm surprised you didn't put Zuckpad up there. I love the Nibbler. I love that little guy. I don't have him yet, but
I guess I've only just got it as well, and I guess I don't really feel like any kind of attachment. I mean, I don't really feel attachment to my pets anyway. As I say, they go straight in my house and don't follow me.
Okay.
If anything, I find it a distraction having a pet following me while I'm trying to do something.
You're right. I almost never have any of my pets, and I even shoved all my pets into my bank recently, and I still don't have them. That was the point. Like I took them all out of my POH, shoved them in my bank to be able to like use them here and there because I just have never been that player. I've been like you the whole time, and even still, I never have a pet out. I'm gonna bring one out. Actually, I'm gonna bring Baba out. There we go. What was your first pet, by the way?
So I believe my first pet on this account was the Zora, which was 99 KC. Gigaspoon.
Wow.
Not seen another one.
Zora is your first Ironman pet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I vividly remember I wanted a Cert Pound or something. Like I didn't even have a single unique. It was just 99 KC. Oh, I got the pet.
Wow.
Okay.
99 too. What a cool number.
Yeah.
All right. Hunt has a few different questions. He asks favorite and least favorite part about streaming.
I'd say my favorite part is definitely like just interacting with the chat. There's one thing that Like, especially when I'm doing like God Wars or something, it can be so mind-numbingly boring. But just engaging with the chat in whatever way, most of the time they're taking the piss out of me or just making fun of anything. But it just it's so entertaining, and even like the silly pictures they make of me and anything else, like as annoying as some people might find it, I just find it entertaining and puts a smile on my face.
That's cool. What about
And
least?
least favorite, I don't know if I particularly have a least favorite part. I guess maybe just having to be really careful with what I do and don't say. Like,
Mm,
there's been a couple of times where like I don't give out the city that I'm from because the UK is fairly small, and there's been a couple of times where like it slipped up. And it's
mm,
like, damn, I can't speak freely. I've got to remember to not say X and Y. Or if I show like a picture that I've taken, I've got to make sure like my work uniform's not showing or anything like that.
I see. I see.
So there's not so much streaming that, but I guess just like interacting with viewers, I guess.
Yeah, you can't share everything, which
Yeah,
okay.
it's just trying to be remembering to be mindful.
Yeah. That's fair. Um, do you have any favorite RS streamers? Maybe a top three, and why?
Right, so I saw this, and it's going to sound really bad, but as much as I try, even before I started streaming, I had an old PC, and I actually couldn't run RS and Twitch at the same time. So I've tended to miss out on a lot of like the more upcoming, more recent streamers.
Mm,
One of the ones that I used to watch a lot, and I know people are going to have their opinions on him and what he does in the game, and even I have my own opinions of what he does in the game. But Block, when he was fairly new to streaming, not I haven't really watched him in the past few years, but like when he first started,
mm.
I got a lot of enjoyment out of watching him. Wish Novasea would stream again.
Yep.
Every time that he does stream, I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's such like it's like the quarterly stream.
Yeah,
But I
literally.
always have a good time. Atty, I quite like Atty. Actually, I knew him before I'd met him before he'd started streaming.
Oh, really?
Actually, and yeah, and it's impressive what he's been able to do with
Yeah.
his time in this game.
Yeah, for real. No, I started watching Addy like right as he started because we started streaming around the exact same time, and
Okay.
that was like we were both like he was like a 10 viewer Andy, I was like a 3 viewer Andy, and yeah, he definitely like I could see like okay, you're actually very good at this game, like right off the bat. He had
Yeah.
insane clicks. That's when he was just a Chambers Andy all day.
Yeah. So I don't want to speak too much on it, but someone that I've been friends with for years on this game, someone he used to live with, went to uni with Atty, which is how I kind of met him before
Mm,
he started streaming. So yeah, happy to see what he's done.
very cool. Thoughts on the current Ironman boosting meta, mega scales, etc.
How long have you got? I can talk about this for a while.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I'm down.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, also I should just
Right.
mention as well, just to bring it up. So actually, you know what? I'll let you talk about it first. But I did complete my Zuck helmet again, and I didn't have to pay a dime, luckily, because streamer favoritism. But I did have that insanity one and a few others boosted for me from the legendary Saxer Pillar. So yeah. Anyway, we'll talk
Yeah, I
about that
mean,
in a second, but you go for it.
I can't blame people for doing it. I think it's more on Jagex to do something about it. I don't know. I guess is it combat achievements or like chambers boosting? I guess they're both like slightly different. But I'm getting like even though some of my friends are the people doing chambers boosting, for example,
hmm
I'm so fed up of just seeing it everywhere and constantly being promoted. I guess, but I know it's on Jagex to do something about it.
hmm
I can understand, say, Lake, for example. He's completed chambers how many times on how many accounts?
Yeah.
I could completely understand wanting to skip that part of the game, so to speak. But like, say like there's an Ironman that's like 11 out of 12, and he wants one more item. He's dropped loads of dupes to just then go and AFK chambers and then get rewarded at the end. I mean, it's completely up to them, but I don't know. It's just I wish Jagex would do something about it. I'm fed up of seeing it advertised everywhere.
Yep.
Like every Discord I go into is wait, I got to scroll down past the advertisements,
Yeah.
boosting all over again, and I don't know. It's
Just
like I
going.
know it's been a thing for years, but I guess in the past few months, it's I don't know, got a lot more notice
Mm-hmm. See,
because
go.
people have been doing it. Sorry, I was going to say
No,
people
you're
have been
good.
doing it for years, and it was kind of like, oh, hush, hush. Not many people do it. But just the past few months.
Now it's really well known.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's, I guess, well, just originally going back to what I was talking about, the erudite CC and like all those early Ironman rambles, like this stuff would have been an abomination. Like talking
Oh
about,
yeah.
but like it was so different back then. Like absolutely not. And I made a ramble talking about lakes boosting on stream, and I
Yeah.
said in the ramble, it is nothing against the player. It really
Oh
isn't.
no, 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 100% no.
It's just about, and in my idea, like I obviously I had my own opinions to share, but the ramble title was literally like, is this good for the game? It was like a question. It was like just a rhetorical, like hypothetical. Like, is this how we want the game to go? Like, are we all comfortable with this? Of there not being as much integrity in the game anymore because people can just boost things, and I feel like it was pretty split, but I would honestly say the majority don't care at all, and it's kind of concerning a little bit. They just think like whatever, it's like it's just a game.
Yeah, I guess mine's more so on the open advertisement of it more so than it actually happening.
Mm,
If that makes sense. As I say, if I go into a Discord and it's like, oh, we've got 3 or 4 different boosting CCs.
yeah,
Even though I'm using this Discord to see what gear I need for Xboss, I've still got to go through
yeah.
the
Well,
advertisements to get to it.
okay. Well, yeah, that's interesting. I think the biggest thing is this is on Jagex to change how certain things work. Like, for example, I am actually completely okay with boosting in general, and especially in regards to main accounts. It's a little bit different with Ironman. I will say that openly because,
Hmm.
obviously, like Iron Man spirit is like you do things on your own.
Yeah.
But I think boosting's wonderful. Like as long as you're not logging into somebody's account and playing it for them, I think boosting actually kind of gives this nice little economy of like, hey, we are going, like for example, I had my like this is like a couple years ago at this point, almost 2 years ago when I was first doing my Zuck helmet, but like Lucid Dream and his team, like they got together and were like, we're gonna help people do their 5-mans for a cost because we're really good at this and we can get it done like one and done basically. And so just the idea of gamers teaming up and say, hey, we can help you out with this, just pay us, RSGP, and we can get you like that. Sound like that is really cool. I actually kind of like that. I like that idea of like people being rewarded for being good at pieces of content, being able to help boost with certain team CAs. The concern is like where something is so broken, like where points are just being allocated to like a different account just because of like I don't know, like the Chambers one, like it's not even that big of a deal, honestly, just because of the sheer amount of effort it takes, which is, it's like a lot. You have to
Yeah,
have
like,
like,
like the price matches the effort that it
yeah,
takes.
but it's just concerning that why, when this account dies and leaves, are the other points still staying in the raid with everybody? I feel like that's like the glitch. It's the same with me having had Saxorpillar do my insanity for me. It's like, I think it's bad that me being able to locate or orb down and die still counts as me not having died and having done the task. First of all, I think there's a problem with insanity only being able to be done in like a duo or higher.
Oh yeah,
I think that's
I
just
remember when the
stupid.
TOA combat achievements came out. I would like accept the speeds, like having to do the Yaka perfection of Het, for example. That was so frustrating. Like I couldn't just go and do it on my own. I had to do it in a team.
Yeah, that is.
Especially with the Akka one, like if you was doing it properly with a duo, you'd have to do the zigzagging on the outside,
Mhm.
but that's supposed to be something unintentional that they added back because they removed it
Yeah.
because it was like the only way possible. Like you shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah. So, but Jagex can go in there and be like, okay, like we can, clean up the code a little bit and be like, okay, this should not be able to be done. Like you must enter, or like you can't die at all. You can't log out, like things like that. And so I don't blame the player ever, really. It's always just like,
No, and I feel like they've had enough time that these things have been about and known, and the methods known how to bypass them.
mhm.
But they should have been fixed by now. I can understand like they got certain things to work on, this, that, and the other, but they should really be focusing on these bug fixes because essentially that's what a lot of them are.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, this might, you can share as much as you want. Did you ever do Corp, like 1+1, 1+2?
I did lots of 1+1 Corp. I did a lot. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can talk about this.
yeah. And I can't blame anyone that did. I mean, I even did it for a little bit because it's just way faster. You did double or triple the kills per hour base. Almost about triple the kills per hour if you had
I
two.
think 1+2. Yeah. So what I did is I did 2,000 kills properly, and so wait, backtrack. I got an Ellie at 80 KC super early. I was still playing on Conduit. That's how long ago.
Holy
I
throwback.
wasn't even on like Runelight. It was Conduit. So I got an 80 KC Ellie, and I remember I was playing a solitary bingo. I think I was in solitary at the time, and we had like a sigil tile, and I was like, right, I'm not leaving Corp until I get an arcane. 2 KC later, I'm bored of doing Corp now. So I paid for 1,000 1+2s where someone else was specking for me. Got nothing. And then I decided, right, I'll rent. Someone had a Corp account they were renting out, and then I did the next 5,500 kills 1+1 myself
Oh, that
to
sounds
get an
miserable.
arcane. That wasn't even for the pet. That was to get an arcane. Like 8,400 kills to get an arcane. To
Oh
put it
my
into
god.
perspective.
You got some spectrals in that, right?
Right, so altogether I got 2 LEs and 4 spectrals and 1 arcane.
Okay. And when did you get pet? Or wait.
Um,
Yeah, you do it.
the first pet was at about 2.5k. I can't remember the second,
Okay.
but the intention at the time was just for the arcane.
Wow.
I
84.
was consistently doing like if I had work, I'd do 75 corp kills. If I didn't have work, I'd do like 100 corp kills in a day, just all by myself. It's like the one of the few times I've sat there and grinded.
Jesus.
Because I remember from Iron Equity, who I believe you've spoken to before.
Yep.
Like
Jack.
he'd never heard of me, and I just remember him. He was doing Corp at the same time, and he kept looking at the high scores, and he's like, "Wait, he's got another 100 kills. Wait, he's got another 100 kills. What's this guy doing?" But I was
Yeah.
just so committed.
Damn. Yeah, I mean I do feel bad because you actually did go over the average completion, so I have to give you props there. But man, that early Ellie, like, oh my, I'm so jealous because I have everything besides Ellie. Now I haven't done obviously 8,500 kills and like 3,500, but I'm really scared. I'm scared to go back because that Ellie can just be brutal.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I mean, I know that it was wrong to do. I knew it was wrong to do at the time, but I kind of hit that point with my Casey where I was like, this just isn't happening. This is another dry streak.
Yep. And
I've
again,
had
it's
quite
like
a few.
there was no rule against it. Like it was just like do it because it's literally in the game and people are saving just so much
Tons
time.
and tons of hours, yeah.
Yeah, I had done a little bit of 1+1, but I just hate multi-logging and I was like I can't do this and it was nice because when you're a streamer, it's like Corp is a pretty chill grind because you could just like chill out with the chat and it's still like it's like hype content kind of.
Yeah.
So
I'll eventually, once I get all the pets, I imagine I'll become a clogger, so I'll have to go back for the jar anyway.
oh
So I'm gonna end up having to go back.
oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at that time they'll repull a Divine. I would love it if they came out with a Divine. It would obviously suck for those that have already kind of completed Corp.
I think that A, they'd bring it out from another piece of content, and B, I don't know if it really fits the game anymore with people's play styles and how they've learned to deal with things. Not really too sure where it'd be good.
It's true. Selfishly, I want it because it's another flex item, and also I'm missing Ellie. So if they were to come out with it, I could grind 2 sigils in one. Knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. But
I mean, another thing I see people clamoring for, I'm not sure what your opinion is I keep seeing it brought up as group corp. What's your opinions on that?
see, that is what excited me about Group Ironman. Before Group Ironman was ever a thing, I remember fantasizing about like all the places you could really have a blast doing like group content. It's never efficient. Literally, Group Ironman, if you really want to play it efficient, you solo everything anyway. Like if you had a super, efficient team, which is unfortunate. But I would actually be okay if there was Group Corp. But I'm indifferent to it, but I think I'd actually lean on them being able to come out with Group Corp. The thing I worry about is it literally just promotes alting. Like it just promotes you boosting. That's the problem because
in a
perfect.
Do you think it'd work like next, say, where it's like your damage percentage and then that's your percentage? Learn the drop.
Yeah.
But it'd still save loads of time.
Yeah,
I know that.
See, this is the problem is like if we do it the old school way where the person that did the most damage always 100% gets the drop, then boosting would really be heavily incentivized.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, regardless, boosting is going to be heavily incentivized. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, do we... I don't know. Actually, I'm starting to lean toward actually just keeping Corp the way it is.
Yeah, so as I say, my opinion was always keep Corp how it is, but if you want to bring a Divine from somewhere else, then so be it.
Yeah.
Then is that selfish of me to say because I technically cheated Corp? I don't really. Should I really have an opinion on it? Am I allowed?
Yeah, that's fair. No, okay. So I'm starting to come to my senses. I think Corp should remain as is. I actually really like the current sort of meta where you can just, use the games necklace and Narda, and that kind of incentivizes going for that. And
they're starting to hit the kill rates that I was getting doing 1+1 anyway with some of the stuff that we're now for Corp.
Exactly. One of my problems with Corp, though, however, is I hate that Corp gravitates toward the very back of the room. I think that's unnecessary. Yeah. So if you could make it so Corp spawns at the front and actually kind of gravitates toward the very front of the room, so you can literally just click on the door, insta-spec, that would make, first of all, it would make kills faster. It would make it feel better. It would just make everything feel... When Corp is just way at the back, it's just like, oh my God, like get to the front already. This is obnoxious. So
yeah, didn't there used to be a way you were able to do that? I can't remember how specifically it was done.
You had to have an account, just walk in there every here and there, and then Corp will like attack it or something, or just kind of gravitate toward that. But I think they did like a patch where like if any account even gets hit by Corp, you don't get the drop or something weird like that. Yeah. So if they could make simple changes like that where Corp gravitates toward the door is always kind of, or as soon as you attack it, it's permanently just by the door because it, thinks you're still there. Kind of.
You could probably just make the room smaller. Just doing that is enough of a...
I want them to do that too, but then people freak out about like, well, that you're ruining the nostalgia or something. I don't know.
I don't know, is it nostalgic having the room bigger than smaller? I don't really know.
I don't know. I think it would, if they made the room smaller, then, people that actually do Corp masses and set up cannons and stuff, it would be a little bit weird, I guess. But I don't know. They could do that. I just want Corp to be right there so you can just insta-spec. Like, that's what I want. Also, I want full Inquisitors to guarantee a Dragon Warhammer spec.
Oh, that would be insane.
That needs to be a thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Since getting Inquisitor, I think I've only used it to kill more Fasani, so I'm open to it being made stronger, especially now that we've got Torva.
Like, dude, it's stupid how, like, yeah, Inquisitors is like hardly ever used unless you're doing some like crazy team efficient content where a couple players bring it. But if you made it so full Inquisitors guarantees a Dragon Warhammer spec, that would be, first of all, it would fix so many, it would help with Corp, it would help with CMs, it would help with anything where you're trying to guarantee that Dragon Warhammer spec. And
Yeah, because you've got that where. Sorry to interrupt.
no,
It's
you're
where that
good.
it rolls a 0, but it misses. Then you've got the roll. It rolls a 0, it hits, and you don't know. It would just guarantee
Yes, as long
every
as it just
0 was a hit.
guarantees the defense reduction. That's it. Just, yeah. That would be an amazing niche use for Inquisitor. And honestly, at this point, like also talked, actually, I talked to BC Guppy about this too. Like, I think Inquisitors should at least be given a 4% damage and accuracy boost when equipping the whole set. Because right now it's 0.5 per piece up to 2.5 with the full set. And the problem with 2.5 is certain weapons don't get like that extra max hit with it. Like a ham joint, for example. If you increase it to 4%, ham joint would get an extra max hit, which I think would be really fascinating and really fun to just get the ham joint a little bit of love. And also, I believe 4% would make it so, I think it was God Swords or like the mace. I think the mace barely gets 2 max hits from that in certain situations, I believe. Something like that. But that would be really cool. Also, and this is going like obviously to the extreme, but I really wish the Great Helmet was actually like +5 or +6 strength instead of +4. I think it's very silly that it's +4 where the Torv is +8. It's just like,
Yeah, so I think the issue with that as well is it's 30 defense armor, isn't it?
I
So you've
know.
got like limited accounts where they're like, oh, that's too much strength bonus.
Oh,
It'll be too
okay.
strong.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm all up for buffs for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to put that down. I can see that. I can see
Yeah.
that from a mile away already.
That's true. That is true. They don't. Okay. Well, don't change that. But I would like it to be at least 4% for the full set. I think that's fair. Plus, it would give Inquisitors more value as well. So I think, what is the price of Inquisitors? Is dirt cheap now, right?
I'm not too sure. I don't really keep track of prices anymore. People keep asking me prices of certain things, and I'm like, huh?
Okay.
It's
Well,
like when I
some.
was killing Zami, and there's like the last time I killed Zami, the spears were like 14 mil. I get back there, and it's like 4 mil. I'm like, what? What's happened
Really?
to
They're
that?
4 mil? Oh my
They're even
god.
less now, but I was just a few months ago, I think, when I went back after TOA. Or was that sometime after TOA?
Yeah. Okay. Well, Inquisitors. Okay. Technically, the full set's still 200 mil, so that's respectable. I'm surprised. I'm actually very surprised it's 200 mil for the full set. Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish they could give it a little bit of love.
just
Yeah.
something. Anything for anything from Fasani right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I still only... Well, it's my last 2 PVM items is the Mace and the Volatile, which isn't very rarely used anyway.
Yeah.
I don't really have an incentive to do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just see it as clogging more than like a PVM upgrade at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the sad part. See, I'm still missing an Eldritch and a Parasitic Egg.
Oh,
It's funny
the
how
Eldritch is so good now as
I
well. The
know.
price on that thing.
What? Let me see the price of that.
I remember I got a dupe Eldritch and it was like 28 mil, so I just put it in my death's coffer. Now I see the price of it and I'm like,
Yeah. It's raised 10 times.
"Oof."
It's 280 mil now.
Yeah, that's just from the light bearer. Like a
Bruh.
simple 4 mil item has made that increase ridiculous amounts.
Yeah, Eldritch Orb. It's funny because it really did flip flop. Like, actually, isn't Harmonized Orb even cheaper than that now? Let me see. Actually, Harmonized Orb might actually be all right because of pking. Yeah, Harmonized is still 380 mil. And
I think part of that's copium for Desert Treasure too, to be honest. It's an ice boss. Surely the harm's going to work there. Surely.
sure, yeah, they'll try something. Reborn Dream asks, "How do you prefer your trout?"
Uh,
What
no
does that?
comment.
What does it mean? Like actually trout, like acting like food.
No, it's a joke in the stream. It's better I leave that one as is,
I see.
I believe.
Okay. Chowza asks thoughts on Ironman then versus now. Least favorite and favorite grinds. What made you excited to start pet hunting? And did any players inspire you along the way? 4 questions.
So then versus now, I guess I play the game in a different way anyway. Because I mean, when I first made my Ironman, as I say, my goal was initially to get Barrow's gloves and quit the account. Then it just slowly became, oh, I'll focus on getting maxed and getting good gear. Whereas now it's just play new content and go for pets. Don't know. I guess I prefer it now. I guess I kind of beyond the point of where I was like, oh, Iron Man. Well, I still believe in some Iron Man integrity, for example. But like when they first released Iron Man, it was supposed to be like we won't cater updates towards Iron Man, blah 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 blah. But I like the fact that we get all the updates usually include us. It doesn't have to cater specifically to us. In some way, it has to work with an Iron Man at this point.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, I'd say I prefer it now. I think it is a lot better that we've got some quality of life rather than before. Like, this is what came to my head: red spider eggs. I don't have to sit there killing spidines for hours. I can go and boss, and it's fine.
I think I would say now is better, but the pinnacle, I think the absolute like best time of old school was probably TOB release, and even like 6 months after. I think like right when Collection Log came out was a little bit of a shift. Now I wouldn't say it's like dramatic by any means, but that's when Hydra came out and other things. That feels like the new sort of like generation of content, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with it.
Yeah, I think like the very end of 2018 was like the truly just like so much hope for the game and stuff. And it's not like, and again, I'm not saying like it was a complete stark difference afterward, but that was definitely.
I mean, in the sense that like now the Iron Man matters what rush to Corrupted Gauntlet and get a Bofa.
Yeah.
Then do everything, pretty much.
Yeah. Boost
Whereas
your chambers.
Boost your chambers. Whereas back then it was like build your account up. You can maybe go to God Wars, and you can. I mean, I think I was midway through grinding God Wars when Chambers came out. I think that's how I remember it. And that was a game changer in itself. Another good quality update.
Yeah.
It's just so different.
Yeah. Least favorite grinds that you've had?
Least favorite, and this might surprise a lot of people, but I'll explain why, was Kree. And I hated my Kree grind more than Corp. And if you look at the high scores, I've only got 3.3k Kree KC.
Yeah.
Reason I hated it is because I started doing Kree before Chambers came out. I don't think Blood Barraging was kind of known then. And I had it in my head I didn't want to get 99 Hunter because I didn't like Hunter up until level 80. So I did my first 2,000 Kree kills with an ACB with Brews and Restores, an Eagle Eye. Then once I hit 2,000 KC, I then went to get 99 Hunter and come back. And then it took me another 1,200 KC to get the Armor Skirt. Because I actually got my Armor Skirt at 3,206 kill count. And I remember when the high scores came out, which I think was like a year or two after I'd done with the grind, it was like the second rank was like 1,000 KC.
Oh my!
It was me with like 3,206, and I just done that for the skirt. It wasn't for the pet. Luckily, I got the pet on the way.
Okay.
And
wow.
I think it's kind of because of that. I guess I trained my brain for pet hunting. If I can go that dry for an armor skirt and keep at it for as long as I did. Like, very inefficient, very newbie, I know.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people were back then.
what was really cool about the release of Boss High Scores when they finally released it was on the release, not one Ironman in the entire game had gone above pet rate for any God Wars. Like nobody was above 5,000 in any of the God Wars. Not one Ironman.
Yeah.
That was nuts to me. I was like, wow. Like just to think that every single God Wars pet you see from an Ironman is guaranteed spooned. That was crazy. I mean, it was also a long time until the first Iron Man obviously got 1,000 masters done. So that getting 1,000 masters, like even now, is still just a crazy grind.
Yeah, like
crazy.
Like did you say I'm at like 350? And how long have Master Clues been out?
Yeah, 2016.
Oh, okay, yeah. So in 8 years, I've managed 350 masters. Great.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I will be in my 40s by the time I hit 1,000 at this rate.
Yeah, that's kind of the scary thing of like thinking of like actual like super long term grinds. You actually start like calculating the years. You're like, oh god.
Yeah. I might be sat at Sarachnis for a whole year next year. Great.
Better not pass me. I've already had Jai High pass me. I will try to get my rank 1 Sarachnis back. The problem is I just have that fear in the back of my mind that continuing doing one piece of content that isn't giving me anything else besides clues is going to inevitably lead me to burn out when some random piece of content in the future just randomly comes out that has an elite rate that's twice as good or something. Just
yeah. I mean, I know this is like quite old, but what are your thoughts on the whole Callisto Massing for elites? Have you tried any yet?
I haven't done any yet, but I actually think it's really balanced in my opinion.
In the sense of that, what is in the wilderness, and
it's wilderness, and you need to have at least 8 players for it to be like meta. Like just the fact that this takes coordination, it takes risk, not much risk. I think it's fair. I honestly think it's fair. I think the biggest problem is like, well, the one thing I don't like about it is I just hate when best in slot, or like not best in slot, but just like the most efficient ways of doing non-wilderness activity is out in the wilderness. I don't like it. I think it's a bad move, and I can understand there still being methods out there in the wilderness. I just hate it when it's the best, because so many players have zero desire for PvP, and when you're kind of forcing them out there, and I know it's never forced, but the strong urge, like, okay, this is faster than everything, I don't like it. So I hope.
I guess maybe it's different for me, where I used to spend a lot of time in the wilderness. You know, I'm not too bothered about being out there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
No, I mean, I'm not bothered either for the most part. I mean, streaming's a different story because
completely.
Because it's just like you're out there, and it's just like, okay, well now I'm sitting duck for any stream sniper. Because I mean, I also completed like all wilderness content before the new like rework of the bosses. So I've definitely spent tons of time out there, which is fine off stream. It's like, it's still fun, but when the clue meta, it's like, imagine every clue meta was go out in the wilderness and get your clues that way. It's just like, come on, like, can we, like, nobody, like, the clue hunters have no desire to do wilderness stuff. So can we keep it out there?
Just hope with Desert Treasure 2 it's something that at least pulls people out of it.
Yeah.
Who don't want to be there.
Yeah.
That was also frustrating, having gotten all my wildy pets, and even though I'm not a collection logger, I got full Dagon High out in the wilderness, but having to go back for the Karasi, that was annoying.
Yeah, I got to go back out there, which is fine. I think the grind will be fine. I'm just not going to do it on stream. Most likely, it'll probably be off and just chilling, because the bosses actually seem quite chill and enjoyable.
Yeah, like the new Vetian I really enjoy.
Yeah, that seems very chill.
It is just a rhythm. I mean, they do just copy the same thing over and over, but compared to the other Vetian, it's night and day.
Yeah, for sure. I got really lucky on Vetian. I got everything completed at like 465. So
nice.
That was my favorite pet at the time. And I remember just being so I had just gotten my Infernal Cape like a week before. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, I was rocking my Infernal Cape, and this is before rev weapons were a thing. So I was using
Oh, wow.
my bludgeon to go kill him, and just like Monk's Robe, bludgeon, Infernal Cape, just going out there, and I got it, and I was on cloud 9, dude. I was just so happy. So happy. That
I
was the
can imagine
sickest
that.
pet ever.
Yeah, I got lucky on the pet, but then I went dry for the Ring of the Gods. I think it took me like another 1,200 kills after the pet.
Oh,
And then when the
yikes.
Karasi came out, 2 kills into it, I got a dupe.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Now that was like my Inquisitor's mace. It took like 9 months of grinding normal Nightmare. Day 1 mace, and then literally within 100 more Fasani's kills, I get another mace. I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
can we stop with this?
It's kind of like my fear of going back to, say, like Corp or Kree or anywhere else I've been dry. Like the collection log or something. Like once I get back there, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, or just like your very next kill, get another Arma skirt.
Yeah.
That'll happen. Yeah. Did any players inspire you along the way? What were your greatest inspirations?
So I saw this and I've tried thinking about it, and it's gonna sound really bad, but I think my mindset, my inspirations were all like, like pre-OC back in the old days. I kind of feel like I just come on and do my own thing now.
Mm.
That makes sense. I mean, obviously, there's people that like enjoy playing the game with or enjoy watching, but like the actual word inspire, I mean, it would be things like, these have probably been names that you've ever heard of, but there's a guy called UAEX
No.
who had the no. So in 2007 or 2006, I believe, he had the lowest combat fire cape. And that was the first time I saw that, and I was like, wow, that's really impressive. I want to be like that guy. And then back in the old days as well, I used to be a free-to-play range 2H PKer when I was a PKer. And there was a couple of those guys where I remember being a kid, I was actually inspired by them. Yeah, not much else to go off that, I know.
I would say, I know this wasn't asked for me, but you remember Say Aloe.
Oh yeah, I remember Aloe, yeah.
He was one of my biggest inspirations. At the time, he was just a total giga gamer, and he cared about all aspects of Ironman. Like, he was an XP grinder, but he also cared about PVM, and he had done a bunch of Infernal Capes, and just his play style seemed so cool, and the way he just grinded like relentlessly was just really awesome at the time. And then obviously he, really burnt out, and I think he also got hacked recently. So.
Yeah, he did also get hacked. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so unfortunate, but he was definitely like, I was like, this guy, like, this is what I aspire to be. Like, his Ironman is just so loaded.
Yeah,
it's cool.
But now you mention it, I do remember overtaking his Calfight Queen casing and being like, that's a bit.
Yeah.
Because I think he was very high. Well, he's rank 6 now. I can't remember what he was at the time.
I
think it would
believe
have been
he
like
was rank 1 for a while, right? Or what? Were you always rank 1? Because I'm pretty sure.
No, because I've only just. Well,
oh no, he must have been rank 1, because I remember watching a video where he was rank 1 by a mile.
I think he would have been rank 1 by a country mile. But then as he stopped playing the game, and he's not played the game for a very long time, then.
It's crazy to think that he would probably be 4.6 bill now with just an amazing. If he continued at his pace.
Yeah, I mean, it's been he's still ranked 27, and he's not played in how many years?
I think it's literally been 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
Yeah. That's crazy, by the way. That is nuts.
I'm just looking at some of his KCs now that you mention him, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, let me look it up. Yeah, he was beasting. He was definitely
20k Vorkath. Yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah. Maybe it's been about 4 years actually. Not 5, because he was still playing when I was streaming, I think. Just barely. 1,000 top. Oh, I thought he did get up to almost 10,000 KC. I guess he only got to 7,000 KQ. Yeah, bunch of DKs. Yeah, crazy.
But even still, considering the time and the methods.
Yeah, he's still rank 3 Zulrah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. He was rank 1. He was rank 1 to 200 mil farming, and he didn't get the pet.
Wow. I mean, I got mine at 95 mil. I'm so thankful when I see all these people with like 200 mil.
Mm-hmm.
Without the pet, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, he has such a beast account still. It's just nuts. And I'm trying to think of other accounts that are really inspiring. I mean, Curtis, he was a huge inspiration starting out. I think that's for most Ironmen. It's just cool. Like, I still love. I was talking in like previous casts about like those chunk men, those extreme chunk men like Verf and Limport. I just love seeing really unique banks that are just loaded. You know, some Ironman banks that are just very unique and they're just cool to look at because you have some like crazy grinds that you can look back on and be like, yeah, like, you know, this. I don't know. There's something special about Ironman banks.
Yeah, but another name that did come to my head, which is probably more recent, but it's still quite a while back, was I don't know if you ever even recognize this name. It was Foxy Boxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was friends with that guy, and I think I do remember. I think he started his Ironman slightly before me, and that was one of the few streams that I watched at the time. So I'd say that he also inspired me to push on.
Let me ask you. Okay, so my memories from back when I first started my Ironman are so cloudy. Were you in Iron Clan?
No, so I was in solitary.
Okay, so I was with you. I was with you in solitary for like a year, I think, because I wasn't in solitary for that long.
No, I was in solitary until it met its demise, and now I'm in Valiance.
Oh, is that what it turned into? What happened there? Are you able to talk about that?
I mean, I can give my thoughts and opinions if you don't mind me talking about it.
Yeah,
but
I don't know
if it's
what
something
happened
you really want discussed.
Well, if it's like drama, you would rather not talk about. That's one thing. I just have no idea because I actually thought solitary was still a thing because I've just been so out of the loop.
I mean, I don't mind. It isn't drama. I don't mind talking about it. I don't really. It doesn't bother me. I think for the most part, I can't remember about your experience in there, but the leader at the time he wasn't even playing the game, but it was like quite controlling him what the moderators and stuff could do. Or not moderators, clan leaders, whatever you want to be referred to as. So I think people just kind of got fed up and then left and made a clan without him.
I see, and that's Valiance.
So that's briefly it. It is not getting into all like the little details.
So solitary is completely dead, or are there still lingering?
Yeah, so it kind of like a few people left, and it kind of started like a chain reaction, and then within, I want to say 2 weeks, it went from like 480 members to like 200.
Yeesh.
And then the people that were still running the clan, as much as a lot of them tried, like they didn't want to be clan leaders, they just wanted to assist. And then obviously the numbers just kept going down and down. They tried ways to revive it, and no one was interested in applying anymore. So it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah. Okay.
And the Discord now exists for me to advertise my stream, and that's the only reason I use it. As much of an asshole move as it is, like, I find it quite amusing.
Do you know if Olympus is still around? I actually literally have no idea.
I think they're still around. I've never really had as much dealings with them, so I can't really comment on that.
It's weird. Like it's weird for me to even ask you that because I just have been so out of the loop with clans, to be honest. Because I was in solitary and then I moved to Olympus. Olympus fit my play style more because I was. I loved that Olympus included like EHC, efficient hours clued, and they included everything and nothing was luck based. Like you didn't get ranks from just spooning Corp or anything. It was like hours put in, which I really valued. And I loved the way did it, but there were just some creatures in there that I just could not be around anymore. So I just left. I was like,
I think it's just like that in nearly any clan you're in. For the most part, Valiance is fine, I found. And while I'm not sure how Olympus works, I know towards the end of Solitary and with Valiance, it's kind of like they've got their own mathematical equation that figures out your EHB and then like your item points and hours, and then it does like it figures out like the average.
Mm.
And then they've got other ranks for like speed related stuff, collection log based stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. I've been kind of thinking of joining. I've been clanless for years now.
From what this might be going back a while. Didn't you start your own clan?
I did briefly. I kind of got pressured into like making a stream clan, which, to be honest, I wasn't all in on because at that point I was kind of burning out a little bit as well. So on top of me sort of being burnt from like TOA release and all that, I started a clan, and then I'm just not built to be a clan leader. I just don't.
There's a lot of extra time and effort, and I'll always give respect to people that do put their time and effort in. That from any clan that they're in.
It was up for a couple months, and then I was like, this is actually just I'm doing myself and anybody that's in my clan a disservice by not being a great clan leader and not really putting in a bunch of time and care into this. So I literally just
yeah, because you got 100 other things that you're doing anyway, and then they're going to want clan events, and then a new person wants to join and everything else.
Yeah, it's tough. Like it's a really good thing to do as like a streamer, you know, have your little clan and everything. But I'd rather be in a clan where it's run by somebody else and I just get to chill.
Yeah, I mean that's what the friends chat's for as well, though. I guess like as long as, but then you always get people coming in and seeking attention.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the issue with it.
Yeah, the other problem is I'm too nice. So like my clan, like I would be like everyone's invited. And you just get like like a weirdo, and you're just like, oh crap! Like, do I keep him in here because he's not actually crossing any lines? But it's very clear that this is kind of a disturbance, you know.
Yeah,
I'm really bad about that kind of stuff.
So am I. I think I've only ever actually banned one person from my stream in a year.
Wow.
There's probably many of people that I should have. I think it's been one, not including like the bots and everything else.
Yeah, that was me initially, and then I started just realizing, like, I had to ban some people that were like avid watchers as well, because I'm like, dude, honestly, I'm getting anxiety starting my stream and thinking that you're gonna be around. Like, I literally am like, I don't want to stream because I imagine a scenario where you pop into the stream and start talking. It's like, so it's bad, but I'm just like, dude, this is my stream. This is my livelihood, you know, in a way, like at least part of it. And I cannot be feeling stressed out before I've even gone live thinking about you being in my chat.
So I just say I'm pretty laid back. I don't really get so much that. And I guess part of that is because I don't care if the chat makes fun of me. Because if anything, it makes me laugh. And if I get like a troll come in there and like, they comment about, say, the way that I look, usually I just laugh with them. And then 9 times out of 10, they end up talking normally afterwards. Once they realize that it really doesn't faze me what they say.
That's cool. That's really that's admirable, honestly, to just be chill about it. And you just realize it's the fucking internet. Like
Yeah, it's just the internet. And to be honest, when I'm with like my real life friends, we all kind of like, I guess it's maybe more of a UK thing. We're always making fun of each other anyway. So I know, just take it on the chin. I don't take anything personally.
That's good.
It doesn't really bother me.
That's good. Yeah, that's rare, by the way. I feel like, I mean, I was that streamer that just, I don't know. You just start overthinking. It's just like being terminally online, which I had a problem with. Like initially, it's just like I don't have enough outside things going on to keep myself grounded. So when your friend circle becomes like almost entirely your stream and people you've met online, it's like you start taking things more personally, which suck. That just sucks when that happens. Yeah,
and I guess where, at least for me, where I've got a job that I can go to, I can disassociate.
Yeah.
When I'm there, and that's like me time, I guess. or when I'm not streaming if I am out.
That's good. I just
Some more me time.
I just recently deleted a bunch of apps off of my phone, including Twitter. Like I still need to use Twitter, so I make it so if I'm at the computer, I can use it. My problem is just like constantly checking stuff, just nonstop. And then when you check stuff, and it just kind of subconsciously starts scrolling, and it's just you're just putting things into your head that you just don't need to be there. You can just live a normal life and not have to be online all the time.
Yeah, so maybe I'm a bit of a boomer. I never really used Twitter before I started streaming, and even now I mostly only use it to post when I get a pet.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, for example, retweet the tweet that you put out. I don't really
That's a good
scroll
way
through
to
it.
That's a good way to go. But I didn't have a Twitter either before I started streaming. I made one for my stream, and just slowly, because I was like really good about just never using it, and then it slowly kind of started creeping into my life more and more. Just not even just that, but it also like I don't have TikTok or anything, but
Oh, I've never used that.
I did have Instagram on my phone because obviously I had one like since high school, and I would never use it ever. Like the last time I posted was like six plus years ago, but I still had it on my phone. And just the fact that they've now come out with like Instagram shorts and stuff, like I'm just trying to check out like what my old friends are up to, seeing like how their families are doing or whatever. And then instantly, like you see one post and you're instantly into the shorts feed. It's like you can't.
I've never really gotten into shorts, but it's all fast information, isn't it? So you're like continuously checking it.
It's just TikTok. It's like everything is turned to TikTok, including YouTube shorts. So I'll go on YouTube where normally it was like I just want to see the people I'm subscribed to, see if there's any like RuneScape series or something. But now it's like there's so many little avenues for you to get sucked into the short form, just constantly scrolling, and it is addicting. Like it is so addicting. It's actually crazy because I used to think this is for Zoomers, like this, like how can you even get addicted to this? It's like you just get pressured into it. It's like they force you into it almost, and you're like, holy crap. Yeah,
I can imagine. Thankfully, I've managed to not get into that.
Yeah, that's good. Stay away from
it. For the most part, I'll have a stream, like when I'm off stream, I'll have a stream up if I can, but otherwise I'm usually concentrating on what I'm doing in game. I don't get time to check that. I mean, as I said to you at the beginning, like I'm mining Amethyst right now. I haven't mined Amethyst all year because I just don't have, it's not that I don't have the time, but I won't like sit down and watch a movie and mine Amethyst. I'm usually like, right, what pet's next? Go.
That's cool. That's the way I used to play. I used to play that way, like when probably like the first 4 years of playing my Ironman, I was very like, I don't even care to watch Twitch. I don't care about having YouTube up. It's like I was just focused on the game. Like I put all my focus into the game. Okay. Let's see. Matt asks, thoughts on current state of the game? Such a broad question.
I think it is a broad question, but I think it's more that we kind of touched on it earlier. It's like there's not enough end game stuff coming in. I mean, I understand, but I get fed up of like seeing so many Ironmen de-ironing or friends quitting the game just because there's not much new content for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that there's TOA, but I feel like TOA didn't scratch the itch that many people have had since Theatre of Blood.
Yep.
Like, not saying whether it's good or bad content, I just feel like it didn't scratch the itch.
You're right. It didn't.
From TOB.
It didn't. So what would you like to... This is kind of based on his second question, but what are updates you would like to see personally? Is there any ideas you have or just things?
I just hope that... I mean, for what's coming up, I guess I hope Desert Treasure 2 doesn't just have 4 Musfers. I guess. I hope that I don't know, they're quest bosses, so my hopes aren't high. I completely get that, because it is a quest boss at the end of the day. I don't know,
What do you think the drop tables are going to look like with those 4 bosses? Because there's like one ring piece and maybe like a piece of Virtus or something coming out for each.
I mean, we briefly spoke about the clues. The only thing I really have anticipation for, and A, I hope it happens. B, it's the Ironman and me, Dragon Arrows.
And Dragon Darts.
Please.
Please.
Well, TOA kind of covered Dragon Darts, in my opinion. I mean, it can
Not
bring that.
enough.
I mean,
Yeah.
not enough. No,
Not enough.
I guess I'm just so stingy on using them that I feel like I have enough, but I
Okay.
probably don't.
Well, how many do you have in your bank?
I think 40k.
Jesus. Wait, what? You just never use them ever?
I think the only times I used them was Grotesque Guardians going for the pet because I hate Grotesque Guardians. And
Okay.
if I was doing 500s in TOA, that was about it. I didn't want to
Wow.
use them in the Inferno until, like, if I ever did get into speeds, until the point where I like start bringing chins and like a scythe switch. I didn't want to bother wasting them until then.
Okay.
So I've pretty much just hoarded onto them. But I mean, an idea that's floated around for years and I guess would maybe make sense here was that I've heard use chisel on the Leviathan bones from the Leviathan boss, and you can choose if it's arrowheads or tips.
Ooh. I would love that.
I'll give credit to Ginny for that one, but I've heard it in various
That would be cool. That'd be really cool. Or
phases.
what about... Oh, and now I guess that would make sense. I was going to say, what about Dragon Bolts too? But that just doesn't really make as much sense because they don't look the same. You know what's a shame is Hallowed Sepulchre came out just a bit too early for it to have been warranted to give Dragon Bolts instead of Runite Bolts. So I have 164,000 Runite Bolts. And that's just like... Can there be some sort of converter or something that can convert these to Dragon Bolts? Like, I don't know. I'm bothered having like
nice.
just the mediocre versions of stuff.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, I've still not even really learnt Sepulchre, to be honest. I was 99 agility before it came out, and I just never felt the need to go there.
Yeah, and you already have Squirrel.
Really. Oh yeah, well I got the squirrel later on, but I just wanted it done and out of the way.
Did you like? Are you one of those people that goes for transmogs and everything, or do you just not care?
I will, but it's not really in my head. To be honest, I think I'm missing the beaver one because that's new. The squirrel one, and I think that's it.
Do you have Guardians of the Rift? For
Yeah,
when you
I got
get
that one going. The pet, yeah.
Okay, nice.
So I've got the hard mode dust, the chambers dust, all the TOA ones done.
Nice.
So I think it is just Sepulchre.
Yeah, well, getting 3,000 marks is quick. It's not even that bad.
As I say, I was 99 before it came out, and I never... Because I know a lot of people moved over to collection login, but when the collection log came out, I had most of the PVM items at the time. I was already kind of in the mindset that I might go for all pets. I wasn't like as hard committed to it as I am now, but I never really drifted into that.
Yeah.
When it came out.
It's fun. I really hope that they come out with another movement-based minigame that's very fast-paced, and it's literally like a floor 5 or even like potential floor 6 vibes the whole way through. But the minigame would not excel in XP. That's the one thing that would prevent a good piece of content from coming out, is the idea of like skillers shooting it down because it's going to ruin EHP or whatever. So keep it to fun, engaging content that's highly rewarding and minimal on the XP. I think that would be so awesome.
Yeah, like even though I've not done the content, I can at least admit Sepulchre is a good piece of content.
It's so good. Like
Opinion.
I will always have, even if they were to come out with something perfect, I would still have gripes about it. You find gripes and everything. So I only have very minimal gripes with Sepulchre, but they nailed it. Like, it's so good. It's fun. It's good stuff. Experience with Valiance so far.
Yeah, it's nearly like it's a Valiant's leader that's asking these questions.
Is he the leader, Matt?
Maybe. Oh, well, so the way they do it is there's 5 founders, and they all kind of make decisions together, and they have like say 3 people agree on one thing and 2 disagree, because 3 outweighs 2, they go with what the others say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right, what was the else again? Experience of Valiance has been fine. I mean,
Just fine.
it's a good time. I enjoy it. I enjoy the people in there. There's a reason I'm still in the clan, because I enjoy it. I can see the work that they put into it to make it what it is. I wish that some of the leaders weren't as burnt out as they are, or doing other things that they shouldn't be doing. But other than that, it's all good. I like the people in there. A lot of people moved out when Valiance came about. A lot of people moved over from like Olympus, or a few have moved over from Olympus, I believe. But like Logdog and people that like were in solitary before and left, a lot of people come back.
Okay, cool.
Like, I'm not sure if you saw, but I think Puggin recently released a video of the bingo levels event they just had. And he's in there as well, and he had a good time with it.
Very cool. I might have to give it a little. I might check it out. I've been kind of low key trying to search for a clan, so we'll see. Okay, he's asking closest clogger, and then he links a picture.
Closet clogger.
Oh, what did I say?
Not closest.
Oh, okay. He meant it says
image,
closest,
yeah.
but he meant closet clogger. And
Yeah.
and it's a picture of you getting bronze boots from cave crawlers in the Relica dungeon.
Yep, that's Photoshop. That's not me reacting to bronze boots. Definitely not. 100% Photoshop.
Was that one of the channel point rewards that you have to go get? Oh, did you ever get anything from Demonics, by the way, when I was in there?
Oh, no, I didn't. But yeah, no, that was a yeah. So in my channel, like if they redeem, I think it's 10,000. I have it set at the minute. I have to go and get a collection log slot, and I kind of just decide in the moment which one I'm going to go for. And that day, I decided it was bronze boots, and I think it took me like 300 kills. And I don't really do tutorial skipping, which is why I still needed them.
Yeah.
And I can be a bit sarcastic sometimes. So I thought, I'm going to overreact, like you see on the clip channels, to bronze boots, and that's where that came from.
So what is your total collections log at right now?
811.
Okay, so after pets, you'll probably focus on that, you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or play another account. I don't enjoy skilling enough to go for 200 mils, and yeah, so it's literally between 200 mils or collection login.
Well, skilling sucks because, first of all, almost no skilling is rewarding.
Yeah, I think that's part of why I never really got into it. I mean, I don't like tick manipulation, but I guess that's because when I'm doing it, I know that I'm getting faster XP, but that doesn't excite me.
Yep.
Whereas like at least killing a monster and maybe trying to hit EHB, I'm like at least getting drops. It's engaging. I have to deal with the mechanics.
Yeah.
And so on.
There's a lot of problems with skilling right now. I personally think Sepulcher, amazing. Sepulcher, I could literally do to 200 mil. Like that. It's just because it's rewarding. It's fast paced. You're not even thinking about the XP because you're just having a good time. Once you learn it, at least. Initially, it's painful. But yeah, I just wish more methods had very challenging methods that were rewarding and, I don't know, just not boring skilling. Like, oh my God, like Forest, I'm literally cringing at the fact of like trying to like do 200, like obviously doing 200 mil for anybody, that's already cringe for most people, but like doing like Forestry, like grinding Forestry, like, oh my God, that is just so, I only did like a couple hours of it and I was really heavily AFKing it, but I'm like, dude, every time an event spawned, I actually just got pissed off. I'm like, oh my God, like I gotta click on these stupid fucking flowers again, like. Yeah.
No, there's like things like, say, bankable skills. I make a few hundred potions and I've had enough now. Like I've got enough potions to cover all the pets. I'll worry about potions when I run out. I don't really want to sit there.
Yeah, I've been a little bit prepping. Actually, in fact, the next couple Sae Bae casts, I actually really got to get on it. I have quite a few herbs. I'm gonna make a bunch of potions. I'll have over 10k brews, over 10k restores and stuff, so I'll be pretty prepped for Desert Treasure. We'll see if Desert Treasure 2 bosses are even kind of like next, where it's like a brew chugging simulator.
I'm hoping they learnt their lesson from that. I mean, I didn't have too much of a problem with Next myself, but I know many people have. I was kind of prepared going into Next, and I benefited from the MVP bug. So
I did too. Just unknowingly benefited from it for like a couple days because I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, no. So I didn't know it was a thing, but me and because I just used to openly host it in solitary. So it used to be me and Syndra mostly, and we both had we both had a Zarite crossbows within the first couple of days. So I used to host it. So my excuse was, I'm hosting, I'm cough tanking, I'm taking a Slayer helmet and Spectral. And little did I know that I was pretty much guaranteeing MVP every kill.
Wow.
So for that entire week, I got 8 drops in my name. The MVP bug happened. And then it was someone in my team that reported it to Jagex and got it fixed. So I always blame him.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, see, what's funny is like I think I got 4 drops within 100 4-mans, and I had no idea why. I just thought it was like getting great RNG, but nobody else was getting drops. But that was only like toward the last 2 days, and then it got fixed. I was like, oh my god! Like if I had known, because those masses, like if you go into masses, if you sweat and you already have a ZCB, you can get MVPs in like just those like brain dead masses. You constantly summon more thralls. Just don't miss ticks. And oh my god, the amount of drops I could have gotten from just too bad I didn't know.
No, we kind of figured out something was up, but that was when he decided to report it. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Remember day 1 of Fasani's, the first like 8 hours, nobody got any drops?
I remember that because I remember the second that a drop got confirmed, I went there and got my first nightmare item. I'm quite happy with that.
What was it?
Staff. Nothing interesting. I think it was like 2 Fasani Casey, but I think I'd done 200 regular nightmare and seen nothing. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I never did any of the nightmare boosting. I remember hearing about it. That was a whole
that was
thing in itself.
That was another thing.
But I didn't take advantage of that. One of the few things I didn't take advantage of.
Well, that's good. Honestly, it's Fasani's Nightmare is so much more of an enjoyable grind. It's still
I mean, the drop rates
great.
are debatable, but for the actual boss itself, especially with the shadow now, I don't mind.
Yeah, in comparison, because the drop rates are still out of control, but they were even more out of control before Fasani's came out. Like I know they're 1 in 160 now, but 1 in 100 for a solo. When your kills are taking 18 to 22 minutes until you start getting like max gear. Oh my god. And then the 3-minute run over there every single kill.
Oh yeah.
Please help me.
So you'd like walk and use an item on a sleepwalker and just AFK on the way there. I think I used to do.
Yeah, I try to get some. I would love. It would have been cool if like the whole way there was no like staircase to go down or anything, so you could actually just like hire taxis. You know, like pay them like $50K. Like, can you just walk me over there?
Yeah.
Where does Badman come from? Where did you get that name?
Yeah. So I didn't buy the name because that's probably what most people would assume. I vividly remember mine in. I think they did some name releases. And I remember I was doing Zaya runecraft and originally my name was Iron Fat Boy. That was my original name because that's just what it ended up being. And I was like, oh, what kind of name can I try for? And I think I was trying for the name like some stupid name like Hot Dog or something. And it was taken. So it was just trying random words. And then, I don't know, it's like a UK slang word, Badman. And I'm like the complete opposite of what that slang word would have entailed. So I tried it and it worked. And that's the story, pretty much.
Okay.
It's just a random trying a name. And I was like, oh, it worked. Okay, I'll take that.
I was looking at your name on Twitch and it's like Badman RS. And I was like, I wonder if it's a play on words for bad manners. You know, bad manners.
Nah.
Yeah. No way.
Nah, but see, another name that I've got is my Zerka's name, which is like 45 Death. I think my Twitch name used to be like, it used to just be 45 Death.
45 Def, like DEF, not
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I've had that since like
It's clean.
2010, I think. 2011.
Sheesh. Yeah, that's a clean one.
Long old time.
I was back in the day. My name was Sae, trying to even think what the original name of this account was. Something really stupid and cringe. But I really early on changed it to Sae Bae. And then I wanted to get just the name Sae, S-A-E. But
Yeah.
some dude on RS3 has it, and the dude's like completionist and everything. It's just like there's no. The crazy thing is when I added him, he was actually online. In fact, let me look at it right now. I bet you anything he's online right now. No, he's not. Yeah, but his private was on public, and I just was able to chat to him, and I was like, "Hey, can I buy your name from you?" And he's like, "No." And I literally didn't even have the money for it, but I just offered. I was like, "What about for a bill, just to like see?"
Yeah.
He was still
test
like,
the waters.
no. Yeah, he was like, "Nope, not gonna give it up." And I'm like, "Damn, that would have been cool." SAE.
Yeah, and I guess you just kind of get an attachment to names as well. Like, even though like my Twitch is based off like my Irons name, like I'm more attached to my Zerka's name because I've had it for longer. So like if I had to lose one of the two, I'd rather lose my Irons name because I don't have as much attachment to it. That makes sense.
Yeah. I see that. I like Sae Bae now. My original hardcore was named Sater, which is my real life first name. And that account got permanently banned, but then it got unbanned a couple years ago. So I still have the name Sater as well, which is pretty neat. I like having both.
Yeah, it's nice to have that.
Yeah.
As I think my real life name's Ash, so there's no way I'm getting
Yeah,
name
that
Ash.
that would be
Not happening.
I wonder how much that would cost.
I don't know. There's something like it's a name. You got Ash for Ashes.
Yeah,
There's
that would
so
be
many
like
different meanings. It's
that would be like 10
three
bill,
letters.
at least.
Oh, at least 10.
Yeah. I don't know how much names go for, but like I'm just thinking it's got to be at least 10 bill. Yeah, then you got Pokemon Ash as well. It's like there's just so much.
Yeah. That's why I used to get called at school. It's like Ash, like Pokemon.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah, I don't know. I think in America it's not really a unisex name, is it? More
I
of a
mean,
girl's
there's
name.
so I think Ashley over there can be a guy as well. Ashley over here is always girl, it seems like.
Yeah. Which Ash is short for Ashley. Yeah.
Yeah, Ashley is generally a girl name here. But Ash, I've known people that are just named Ash, but I don't think their full name is Ashley here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So we already covered goals after pets. Ooh, what about this? People de-ironing / becoming green helmets and the shops associated. Explain that to me.
Oh, so I mean, I kind of briefly touched on earlier. I was fed up of seeing my friends de-iron, but like so many people as well that are de-ironing now, and now, I mean, I think it's no secret they're turning into group Ironman, then selling their items for more than say the grand exchange value, which
I
is
heard
more like
about
the
that.
stops associated with it. And like even people that are set as like permanent irons, there's still like workarounds for it so they can get around it.
Yeah, that's really
I just
cringe. The whole like unofficial group Ironman seems just like the most weird thing this game has.
Yeah, so I mean like again, I know someone that's involved with some of this, but it's things like you might have like a 5-man unranked group Ironman team and they've all got mains and they're like, oh, we really want a T-bow that we can share between the 5 of us. Let's all put in 500 mil each from our mains, and then we can go and buy one for our accounts. And it's just been supplied by someone that wanted to de-iron rather than someone else from an unranked group Ironman.
Group Ironman. I'm glad they at least have prestige or whatever it's called. What is it called? Prestige Ironman?
Prestige, yeah.
That is good at least. But holy crap. Like just the normal, just how convoluted it is and how you can just manipulate. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I think that if someone wanted to de-iron, they should just be instantly made non-iron rather than a green helmet. Although I feel it's kind of too late
Yeah, and
now.
it's in my opinion, it's like nobody really cares. It's like green helmets, like who cares? Like just let them. I personally
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
care.
I don't care about it. I think it's more the sense that like people de-iron. Say I've got a 10 bill bank, I sell it to a I'll just call it a black market Discord. So
Hmm.
rather than advertising it, and I'll get 15 bill instead of 10 bill for my items.
Yeah.
They then go on to sell it for 20 bill, and they've made 5 bill by just buying and selling
I see.
group Ironman items. There's like a whole market for it.
Interesting. Okay. I guess we were just recently talking about this, but thoughts on Fasani's Nightmare drop rates and potential changes. We already talked about the changes. Would you want to see drop rate changes? I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I just quickly bring up my log, I mean, I don't think mine's too bad. I've seen worse. So I know I'm lucky on orbs. Nightmare. So in 1.8k for Sani, I've had 1 pet, 3 helmets, 1 chest, 2 skirt, 1 staff, and 3 orbs, which is pretty lucky.
One
But then
staff
people,
in 1800.
yeah,
Sheesh.
which was at 2kc.
Wow. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, so then I don't know. I guess drop rates wise. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of this guy. Is it Tyler X Bandit?
No.
He went like 8.7k for Sani for a mace.
God damn.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like P&M's kind of like it's been out for so long. Like we've spoke about the changes to the items. I think I'm quite happy to see it. I just don't know what they could do. It's been there for so long. It's easily botted as well. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I was even saying this. Like, I'm the one person that is going to get like my grind is devalued by this, but I'm still okay with it. Either make Inquisitors better, but honestly, you could seriously drop or increase the drop rates to 1 in 100 instead of 1 in 160 right now, and I would even be okay with 1 in 80.
Oh, really?
Like I
Wow.
would actually be okay with that if they're not going to change anything. It's just like that.
I guess for the value that are provided from the items now, like I don't care about. Not that I've done much Nightmare, but I don't care about it being devalued or anything.
Yeah,
I guess with how useful the items are, that's fine.
like
Really, I guess.
if they were to make the items better, then it's warranted to have a beastly grind. But the items are just not even that good, and it's just like the most ridiculous amount of hours to grind. I don't know. That's my opinion. They're kind of like held hostage by the idea that like other people's grinds are going to be devalued, and just trying not to go too crazy, because if they change the Sanis, then they got to change normal Nightmare as well. I don't even know why normal Nightmare is still in the game. That, like, who does that? Who literally does normal Nightmare?
People selling 5-man times. I guess that's it. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's just obnoxious.
Or wait, no, it's only uses the jar, isn't it? I believe. Isn't it better to go for the jar from regular Nightmare?
Probably. But it's literally just worse. It's like actually. What's funny is, they were saying we're going to come out with Fasanis. It's going to be more difficult. Now, I understand it's probably more difficult than a normal 5-man, but if we're comparing solo to solo, Fasanis is actually easier.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more
easier.
engaging as well.
Yeah. So I'm not complaining, but just say it's
the
more
regular
difficult.
Nightmare was just hoping to not fall asleep with the amount of time it takes for a kill.
Literally. Yeah, not good. Let's see. What is the day in the life of Badman? What's your average
me? So
average day?
I mean, obviously, it's mostly going to be playing this game. But say it's a work day, pretty much every day I go to work. I wake up at 5. I generally start work at 6. I've only got a crap retail job. There's no need to get into it too much. It's just go to work, come home, play RS. I like going to gigs and shows with friends when I get the chance. Obviously, with COVID and everything at the minute, is not really been too much going on, or it's been stuff that's been like delayed by a year or two. And go see family when I get the chance. Thankfully, I live quite close to most family members I see. And stream a lot. There's
Yeah.
pretty much go to work, come home, stream.
That's cool. Well, you put on some long streams. I'm impressed to work as well as stream and still pulling. Like you did like an 8-hour stream the other day. Like just is that consistent for you?
So my days are usually consistent. It's kind of like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are usually like my longer working days. Then Monday and Tuesday I do 2 half days. So I only do 32 hours working, but then I try to stream 5 days a week as well. And the time kind of fluctuates. It's usually like stream until my dinner time, and I usually then get off, have dinner, relax for about 2 or 3 hours, and then go to bed and repeat.
Dang. Are you happy?
Yeah. As long as my work schedule doesn't change and they don't try and change my shifts around, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
I am happy.
That's nice. Having like a nice routine that works for you.
Yeah, I really like having a routine. I spent a lot of time when I was younger having my routine change all the time, and I used to hate it. But now I finally got a routine. It's not a Monday to Friday routine, but it's generally the same.
Yeah, as long as it's the same.
It's nice knowing I'm always home at X time on Monday, so I'm probably going to be streaming at X time on Monday. It's nice to have that consistency.
That's really
with
cool.
the people that do tune in. The only issue with it is I don't really get to do evening streams because where I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm usually either too tired or it just doesn't work.
What's your like? I like asking this. What's your go-to food? Are you like an English breakfast kind of guy?
I don't mind an English breakfast. I mean, my go-to food, like if there's no money involved, I'll be eating steak every day. Steak's my favorite.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
I don't know. It kind of changes at the minute with the way that like inflation is. I don't know how bad it is for you over there. It's pretty much anything I can get reduced at the minute.
I see.
Try and save some money because it's like, even though I'm streaming and working, I'm still like I don't live at home. I've got a car to pay for, and fuel and everything.
Yeah.
And when it breaks down, I need the money to pay for that. So it's just trying to save money where I can. And I've also got a crippling nicotine and monster addiction that I need to stop, which I'm also paying for.
What's your favorite monster?
So it fluctuates all the time. At the minute, it's this it's the new like Zero Sugar Lewis Hamilton one.
Huh? Never heard of that one.
No, so it's quite a new one. It's kind of like lemony. I do like it. I do like the Ultra as well.
Oh yeah, the white one.
Yeah. The one that everyone seems to is always like the boomer drinking the white monster.
Lewis
and they've also got this other new one. This reserve white pineapple monster.
Oh,
I saw. As well,
yeah, I saw that one. Have you tried the Nitro monster?
Yeah.
I
don't mind it. It's a bit different.
Yeah, it's more like I love the smoothness of it. I don't drink the full sugar monsters anymore. I either just drink the if I have monsters, it'll be the original zero sugar now, which it feels like that tastes exactly like the low carb one, except it's just zero now, and it tastes identical to the one with full sugar. It's crazy.
Yeah. Crazy what they can do.
I know. It's like every drink has gotten. We're literally in the next like few years, like zero sugar drinks are going to taste identical, like actually identical to their counterparts. What was my other really? I love Mango Loco in college. I used to drink that one.
Oh yeah, I quite like that one. I drank no sugar for a very long time, and I think one day I tried that, and it kind of put me on a bad path for a few months.
Yeah. I liked.
And then recently, I've had to tone it down.
I liked the. Was it Ripper? Was that the original pineapple one?
Yes, it was the original yellow one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pineapple one. Yeah.
That was nice. Yeah,
I'm really bad with energy drinks. Like I find it much easier to quit nicotine than energy drinks. Like the few times I've stopped energy drinks, I've actually like had to stay in bed, and I've had migraines and stuff. It's really bad.
Uh,
See, over here, I don't think it's law now, but I think they're going to make it law where if you're under 16, you can't buy energy drinks. And I wish that was a thing when I was younger, because there's little, let's say 12-year-old me, and I'm like, oh, I like the taste of this, and I just keep buying energy drinks. Little do I know at that age what damage is actually doing and how addicted I'm getting to it.
yeah, that's fair. The first time I ever drank a Monster, I think I was 14, and it was like the greatest thing I'd ever tasted. It's just loaded with sugar, just loaded and just so much caffeine, and like you're already hyper basically, and just being even more hyper.
And now it exists to stop me getting a headache in the morning, and that's literally what it is for. I get no energy out of it; it just stops me getting a headache.
Have you taken like any sort of breaks for tolerance reasons, or is it just like too hard?
Yeah. I have before, but the thing is, I need a week off work. I'd probably need to take time off streaming because the few times that I have stopped and then ended up going back to it, it has been migraines. I'm in my bed. I can't do anything. This is horrible.
Fuck yeah!
I've tried slowly weaning off it as well, but I still eventually, as soon as I hit the point where I go from like 1 to 0, it's bad.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm lucky to have never been like, I'll have my caffeine addiction phases where I get really into it. I try to be very aware, and I try to take those tolerance breaks here and there, but they do suck. I don't get migraines, but I definitely do get headaches pretty consistently for the next following like 4 days. I'm lucky though, I've never gotten addicted to nicotine. That sounds awful to try to quit that stuff.
Yeah, so I've quit smoking now. Like, I've been vaping for 2.5 years, but I think I could. As I say, I probably could quit vaping easier than
that's crazy.
Drinking energy drinks.
Do you think you could actually do that easier? So
I guess it's just the side effects. I might get a bit grumpy if I stop this. It's not going to leave me in bed.
Okay, I see.
Get a bit grumpy, and that's about it.
Yeah. Did you start like your nicotine addiction early on, like in your early years?
So I tried it when I was 13 or 14. It was nothing, and then stupidly I think I remember I went to a New Year's party, and my friend was like, "Man, it's New Year's. Come have a cigarette with me." And stupid me said, "Yeah, fine," just to shut him up, and then it started.
Dang. Did it really just start like right then? Like just like
well, that's in my head how it started.
Okay. But then it was like you have that excuse of like, I'll do it again.
Yeah, just the once, and then the next day I was like, oh, I quite like that. Body likes it. Yeah. But at least I'm not smoking cigarettes now, but that was more of I know it's, at least I think it's healthier for me to vape than smoke cigarettes.
I would say so, yeah. There's like debate on that, but like just at least my intuition is it really seems like vaping's a lot better for you than actually inhaling smoke.
Yeah, but it was more of a money saving thing. It was like just as I got in my car, I was like, right, I can't afford to smoke anymore, and I stopped.
That's good.
Well, I moved to vaping, but I stopped cigarettes.
Yeah, that's good at least. I got pretty addicted to vaping weed. I think I really got into the habit of it in just 2022, the very beginning. That's when I bought my own vape like an idiot, because I would just I'd take a hit of my brother's here and there.
Yeah.
And it was like for like a special occasion, not even a special occasion where I streamed for a long time and I wanted to chill out. Yeah, that was my special occasion. But like it was nice because I would just be totally zoned out like after doing it. Like it felt like so weird because I just barely ever did it. And then getting it just almost instantly became a daily habit. I think the first 3 weeks I was pretty good about just doing it like 2 or 3 times a week. And then it was just every single day at night. And that lasted until just this past April, where I just finally like stopped. Because
good on you. I mean, when I was younger, I used to partake in that, but it started making me paranoid. So,
Dude, it was
yeah.
it was making me. I had my own like basically like psychotic, like mild psychotic break from it, and I realized like I'm probably prone to schizophrenia. Like I actually started thinking that. I was like, that if I continue to do this, not like I know for sure, but I'm definitely getting hella paranoid now when I do it, and I'm like, I'm literally like, I'm not even having a good time doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I need to literally just take it upon myself, just stop, like, just stop it. Like, and so I just stopped, and I've luckily like not even, luckily I don't even really have the desire anymore to do it, because I actually, when I smell it now, because I live in Oregon where it's fully legal.
Okay.
So, and I live in an apartment complex where I can literally smell it in the hallways. But now like, I bet it's for you, like if you smell cigarette smoke, maybe you have that kind of like, ooh, that craving or something.
No, not any. I did it first, I think, but now I just kind of blank it out.
Okay. Well, I used to kind of get that craving when I would smell weed. I'd be like, what am I trying to say? I would like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I'd think of like the good feelings from it when I'd smell it.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's like the negative feelings. It's like that feeling of paranoia now. And I'm like, honestly, I'm glad I kind of feel that way. Like, it obviously is not a good feeling. Like when I smell it, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But
No,
it keeps
no.
me away from it, which is nice.
Yeah, so as I say, it just started making me paranoid. I also didn't like talking to people. Like, whenever I did used to consume it, I'd just be like, "No, just leave me alone."
Yep. That was my like alone time. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Totally.
But
Okay.
no, good on you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I needed to. I knew I needed to stop, but I just kept ignoring it. I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm just going to keep doing this. And then it literally got to the point where it was just it was no more fun. It used to be a little bit of, it used to be all fun, and then it was like a little bit of paranoia mixed in.
Yeah.
And then it was literally just all paranoia. It was no fun. And I kept doing it. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Yeah. So,
No, I think I nearly picked it up again once, and then like I got so paranoid I ended up throwing up, and I was like, "Oh, okay,
yeah.
no, stop."
Yep. Yeah, that was the last time I did it. I was like, okay, yeah, this is no longer fun in any way, shape, or form.
But then I understand the benefits to it as well for some people, and I know not everyone. But like I had an uncle with MS who could barely move, and then I think it was his barber that recommended he tried smoking it, and he was like, "Drugs? I've never done drugs in my life." But then I think they like not vaporize it. There's like some machine that they use, but he'd done that, and then like even though he had MS, he could actually like start moving some of his fingers without pain.
That's so
And
good.
it was crazy what it done for him.
See, that's the thing. Is like there's gonna be use. There's gonna be really good uses for plant medicine and like things like that. I mean, even I don't know where I heard this from. It was probably something, but it was like the idea of like, I think cocaine in certain places. I think somebody was saying like, if you live in the jungle, you need cocaine to survive, basically, or else you won't have enough energy to survive. And cocaine's going to shorten your lifespan, but at least you'll be able to survive and live like a pretty fruitful life, I should say, in the jungle, if you lived in the jungle. But like in modern society, cocaine is just going to destroy your life, basically, because it's just so like there are use cases for most drugs, but it's not for everybody, and you have to stay away from, you know, the stuff that's clearly not giving you any benefit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, the Ruinous Powers got scrapped. Were you upset about that, or what were your thoughts?
So again, I think this is another situation similar to sailing, but I think the thing I remember about the Ruinous Prayers is they polled how they were going to beta test it. And from what I recall, it was to do with the protection prayers. Wasn't there like one that was like you took chip damage, and then the other one was like 100% damage, but if you pray wrong, you take more damage?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was like
Something like that.
yeah.
I remember there was like a poll between the two, and for some reason, the one that took chip damage ended up winning the poll. And after I saw that, I just stopped paying attention to it because I was like, "How the fuck could you let chip damage come into these overheads?
Yeah.
Has anyone done next? How much people hate chip damage?"
The
I know they
finalized
ended up
version
changing it
wasn't. Yeah,
eventually,
yeah.
but I just like when I saw that passed the poll, I was just like, all hope's lost. How did that happen?
Yeah, that was not
But
good.
no, I'm not opposed to new prayers in general, but I think they're trying to be over. They're trying to do too much with it, I think, rather than just like a basic, like small percentage bonus. I'm not too sure.
I think so too. We still have room on the standard prayer book as well for 6 new prayers. Technically, we could squeeze them in.
Yeah,
Also, the Ruinous Powers ended up almost looking identical to what we have right now, just slightly more OP.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because we're so used to the metas that we have from the standard prayer book, can't really stray from it too much.
yeah. Like I would want nothing like what RS3 had. But I enjoyed Turmoil when it came out, but in this game, no, it's way too much. And with the rings on top of it, it's way too much.
Yeah,
I would have liked to have seen something. I mean, they can. I guess they can maybe revisit it in the future. But I don't really. I don't know. People were disappointed is because that was like the big part of the quest reward, wasn't it? And having new prayers would be nice. I mean, we've had a new spell book. It makes sense to have a new prayer book.
yeah, it's
But that was
weird.
like a very. It was like a very not sure the word I'm thinking of. When it happened in RS3 with the other prayer book, it was very like a defining moment when that happened.
Yeah, I was pretty it was concerning seeing that potentially coming into the game, at least in my opinion. It looks too foreign. And it's not to
Yeah,
say in the future we can't have it, but it seemed like it was going to be rushed into the game and it just felt weird.
yeah. It was. Well, why it's a shame that they scrapped it. It definitely makes sense why
Yeah.
they did. It should not have come in with how it was. But I didn't really get the chance to test it anyway because going for pets, I don't really stop.
Yeah. Um what about so RS3 does a thing I think called bad luck protection.
Yeah, so I've heard about this. I don't care for it.
Are you
Someone was asking me about it.
okay, so you're indifferent to it or you wouldn't want it?
I probably wouldn't want it
Okay,
because I
that's
think
me.
is it RS3 like if you hit once you hit the drop rate every like I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's like every X amount of KC past the drop rate for like a boss, you're like more likely to get the pet.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I don't know the specific numbers on it, but even though I might be like, oh, I want to hit 5k Zami and guarantee the pet. No, I think it takes away from getting the drop by having a guaranteed, well, not so much a guaranteed drop, but like a more likely drop
Yeah, it's definitely not
further
as
down the
old
line.
school. I like the idea of people going 8 times the rate of something stupid.
Yeah.
It would
Oh, I
just
enjoy it when it's not me. But
yeah. It would just be dull if, nobody really goes beyond drop rate for most things. It's like, yeah, you go a little bit, and then you get it eventually, like really, really
yeah.
quickly afterward.
I mean, I think they have pets for like everything, don't they?
How many
They
pets
got a
do they
lot
have?
more.
Do you know?
I no, I can't even log into it. Like I remember when we used to have to log into RS3 to get bonds. I actually would get a headache logging into that game because I'd look at it and it'd just be like, no, no, this isn't RuneScape. It's hurting my brain. So I
Apparent
just stay away from it.
Apparently, what I looked up is there's a skilling pet for every skill in RuneScape 3. It says there's 28 skilling
Yeah,
pets.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Wow. Even an attack pet? Like, what is that? Like,
I don't know. Someone showed me the other day. Like, I think there's a Slayer pet that's just training Slayer. It's not like a Slayer boss. It's just a gargoyle. I was like, what's that?
weird.
Oh, it's just a Slayer pet.
Just the hit points pet. Like, it's just a
Yeah,
imbued heart squishing around you. I don't even know. Weird. Or I guess they have
no.
Constitution. My bad. Constitution.
I remember when that change happened. I still don't really get it.
Yeah.
I remember logging. I think that's one of the few times I nearly did quit before EOC. Is just seeing my health go from like 99 to 990. I was like, what's this?
Oh
And then
my
I think
gosh.
prayer as well also went to 990. If
Yeah.
I remember right, my brain didn't like it.
Yeah, that's too much at once. That's crazy.
I know it's really silly and like minuscule because it's only showing because they're all decimaled anyway, I believe, aren't they? It was just showing what that decimal is.
Yeah. Horn Tugger asks thoughts on adding additional ways to hunt Imbued Heart. For instance, adding Heart as a mega rare to Slayer bosses.
Pretty sure I've seen him put a Reddit post or two about this.
Is he dry? Like hella dry or what?
I don't know how dry he is, but I know that he has been pushing for this. I mean, I got my Imbued Heart quite lucky, so I mean they've already changed the superior rate, which I don't know. I know it's such a rare item and it's so good with the shadow as well. But like as a mega rare to Slayer bosses, I don't really know. Probably more leaning towards no.
Yeah, I'm just like, just keep it as it is.
I don't really see it as an integrity. Like maybe they could do like I don't know. But they've got pots now that you can make to make up for it. I know that's not convenient, especially because the heart takes up one inventory spot. That's part of the reason why it's also so good.
Yeah. And the saturated heart is just busted now. Just
Oh,
permanently
yeah.
112.
Yeah.
I
And then
love that,
second
by
it
the
drops,
way.
you reuse it.
I love that. Absolutely love that.
Such a good change.
I know. That's cool. It's a great item now. Yeah.
But no, on the heart rate, as I say, they changed the superiors to 1 in 200 to 1 in 150. So
Yeah,
like,
that's already a huge buff.
wait a few years and come back.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah, go
someone
for
I
it.
did want to mention. There's a guy in Valiance right now. Is what's his name? He's got like 11 eternal gems and no imbued heart. I feel so bad for him.
What? 11?
11. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 11.
Bruh.
It's a ridiculous amount, and all he does now is
Holy
Turiel until he gets
crap.
Smoke Devils and Abbey Demons.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm just thinking like by the fourth one, I'd be pounding like desks and stuff. But going 7 more beyond that, like what?
Yeah, it's pretty much he streams occasionally as well, and it's pretty much just an insta end.
Oh
As soon as he gets
my.
another one, it's like, oh, we're ending.
Oh my god. That's horrendous.
Wooked, that's his name. So Woked. Yeah, he's got 11, I believe. But I don't think he's at the XP of the other person that went super dry. There's a guy that went like over 100 mil Slayer. I can't remember his name, but he didn't have as many hits on the table.
Wait, what was his name?
So it's Woked, Wooked, that I'm talking about now. But there was someone else that went super dry, but I can't remember their name.
Woked?
Yeah.
Why is that not even showing? Like that's like a main account with like 1,500 total.
0. Sorry, not
Oh,
O.
okay. Okay.
My bad.
There we go. No, you're good. Oh, he's on. Oh, that's crazy. He's 51 mil Slayer.
But he's been doing Turiel since 13 mil, I think, and only doing Abbey Demons smokes.
Okay. So does he share his superior count? 'Cause obviously, it's always hard to fully calculate, like, you know. So I
couldn't tell you what it is right now.
Okay. Well, that's
I believe
still.
he does. I think he's lucky in hitting the table, but it's just every time he's hit the table, it's been the gem.
Yeah, even if we were to just ignore the Slayer X, even if it was 20 mil Slayer, just the fact that you get 11 of something in a row is beyond stupid. Sheesh. Yeah, that's nuts. That's bad. You know what? One of the craziest luck things I've heard is maybe not the absolute craziest, but you know how the jar at Fasani's is 1 in 4,000?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Iron Vatty. He's been on the cast a couple times. He was a skiller, Ironman skiller.
I think I recognize the name.
Yeah. He got 6 jars in under 1,000 Fasanis.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's like getting 6 Ellies in under 1,000 Corp.
It's nuts. I think I've got one that's comparable. I think I got 3 Visages from KBD and 100 KC. I'm going for the pet.
What? Your first 100 or just somewhere in that grind?
Just somewhere in between. I think it was like
Wow.
between 800 and 900 or something strange.
Holy crap. Yeah, the unluckiest I've been, at least rate-wise, for something significant was I went 874, I think, dry of an unsired at one point.
Ooh.
And I literally thought the game broke. I was like trying to talk to the unsired person in the middle, like trying to see if I like messed up a dialogue.
Yeah, when everyone's like, speak to OSRS, kind of like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I was like, what is going on? Like, how do you even go this dry? Yeah, that was the only time I've experienced something like truly brutal. And that was, I mean, it's sire too, so it's not even the worst.
No, but yeah, mine is mostly just armor and corp, more so armor, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a few others, but like they're 4 or 5 times the rate. I can deal with that, not 8, 9 times.
Yeah, 3,200 is what, 8 or 9 times, 8.5, something like that.
I think it's about 8.5. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's brutal. So yeah, it's only happened to me once as well, just with that unsired, not even on the same level as Arma. But yeah, that's brutal. Okay.
That's why we play Ironman though. Once we go dry and get the drop, it's great.
Yep. No, and especially like, you know, when you really dedicate yourself to this game, when you think of like the average person going 8 times the rate, like, oh, you're quitting. Like you're quitting the game. You're done with this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, when you're
No, I was gonna say with armor, that was like my true test, my first true test.
Yep. I always used to say the true test for an Ironman is, can you not quit grinding out a Dragon Warhammer? Because I feel like the first grind that most Ironmen do, at least back in the day, was like getting your Dragon Warhammer. And that was like your first big test of like going potentially dry on an item. Like, are you willing to continue to grind this out?
Yeah. No, that's it. I think I went about right on that. I remember I think I was on the phone with someone when I got the drop. I had to like not be excited because it was like a work call.
You're like, yes.
I was just there trying to like straight face it. Where inside I'm like, I got it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got mine at like 6,000. It's a terrifying thought though when you see the kill count go above 5K, because then you feel like it's endless. Like you feel like, oh my gosh.
It's just like the next drop could be it. I'm owed it now.
Yeah, literally.
Nope. I've got to go back and do that again for the collection log. Surely I'll just get it during a clue step at some point. I think that's what Queen did.
Really? See, that's what I've been hoping for, because I have to get that in the log again as well. Yeah. So let's see. So you're gonna be clogging. Is there any grinds in particular you're looking forward to when you start clogging? Is there anything you're just like, oh my gosh, this is the worst?
I guess maybe doing more team content, because like most things like Chambers and TOA, I mostly did solo. Mostly because I think if I saw someone else get the drop I wanted, I'd get a bit upset. And then like people dying in teams, it's like, oh, you're affecting the rate.
Mm-hmm.
But like going for like say the 2K CM cape, because I'll probably start raiding. But I think Theatre of Blood, I'll probably get the pet going for the cape. But then you've got like CMs and TOA. I think that'd be quite fun doing like actual team content with people. For once. I enjoy a bit of LMS. I couldn't say I really grind it. It's usually like, oh, I do X wins a day. Probably how that will work. But not too sure. Just see what comes, I think.
Speaking of, I've always been a solo player as well, and I've been trying to just be like, okay, you know what? I want to start doing team stuff and just try to enjoy myself a little bit more. I did one duo yesterday, after getting
I
my
saw.
Zuck helm back, and I've never seen a Masori body. And the first raid with the duo partner Tweaky, he pulls a Masori body in front of me, and I was MVP. And then I remembered why I like soloing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt.
How many purples are you for it?
I mean, to be fair, it's not like I'm like dry or anything. Let me see.
So I finished TOA on chaps, but it was only, well, I say only, it took me 60 purples, which is still 5 times the rate, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, I'm at 20 purples, so I'm chilling. I'm at 20 total purples, so
Surely soon.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've been really spoon fed at TOA, honestly. Like I got a shadow at like 180 or something, and
Nice.
I've had 4 pieces of Masori, but of course dupes of each. And yeah, so we'll see. It's really not that big of a deal, and I have to do TOA in teams to actually enjoy myself, because whenever I do solos, for example, if I like mess up or like I die at Baba, I just log out. Like I'm just done. I'm done for the day. Like I'm just pissed off. So that's my problem with TOA.
Yeah, I fully understand. I think I just maybe where I've just done so much bossing, and that's all I tend to do. I kind of just mentally fought through it. I did kind of burn out for a bit, and I think that's when I went for the heron pet. I just fished a bunch of carrot. Like as soon as I finished stream, I went and fished Karen ones.
Yeah.
And did that constantly, and that was like just as I'd started streaming, so it was an inconsistent schedule and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I was just like, right, I'm gonna knuckle down and do it. Also helps that I got 5 staffs. Lots of money.
Sheesh. Yeah, that's crazy. So is your alt loaded? Like, do you have an alt that?
It was loaded.
Mm.
I've been a leech in BA.
Oh, nice.
I do want to get into it, but it's kind of like when I end stream, it's like, oh, I can chill out for a bit, and I've been playing a bit of Diablo 4 at the minute.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I can leech BA and work on a pet while playing another game.
That's good. At least you get a little bit of chill time, but still efficiently sort of pet hunting.
Yeah, because they're so fast. Some of the BA people, it's crazy what they do. That's a mini game in itself that I wish I had the patience and the time to put in and learn it, because there's so much depth to it from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is you're pretty much just there for the pet, and then that's it.
Yeah. So
which is why it's so hard to get into.
What's your high gamble, Casey?
Not high. I think it's 246.
Okay, getting up there though.
Yeah, starting. I think Ginny got his at just after 1.1k. I think.
Damn. Yeah. See
But
that
there's been some people that have went like 5,000 gamble dry eyes. I see things like that, and it's so like, no, I don't want to.
It's just demoralizing to think about. And you never think it's gonna be you, and then it's you. And
it's you, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff where I think pet hunting always sounds cool in theory, and then I think of stuff like that, and I'm like,
there's a reason they're last. I try not to think about it. That's why it's all like God Wars. Like the only one that I know I enjoy I've left on purpose is Theatre of Blood, because I've always enjoyed Theatre of Blood.
That's a cool one to have
I'll end up going
left.
for the cape anyway.
I would love to still have a bloodhound, like, because I'm addicted to clue scrolls. So it's weird, because even though it's nice having a bloodhound, I wish I had just never gotten it. It's cool to enjoy a piece of content so much that you want to go dry on it, you know, because you're gonna keep doing it anyway.
Because it gives you more incentive to keep doing it.
Exactly.
I think you've got the incentive to do it anyway, but maybe it's like a little bit more incentive to push harder.
Yeah, it's just that extra spice you could have every single opening. Yeah. Well, cool. Okay, we've kind of pretty much covered all the topics, it looks like. Is there anything that you're thinking of talking about? Anything that comes to mind that we maybe haven't touched on? I mean,
just having a double check. I think I've spoke about a lot of what I thought about. Double check Twitter. Kind of went over these. Oh, if I see that people have spammed it on the Twitter post, I might as well explain it as well as the avatar is the whole hashtag BMW thing.
oh yeah, show that.
It's strange. Essentially, the only reason that's happened, the same as why it's on the avatar, is apparently my one piece of clothing that everyone recognizes is a G2 League of Legends like esports t-shirt, and it's got the BMW logo on it. So everyone just starts spamming hashtag BMW, and then every time I put it on, it's like, oh, he's wearing the shirt. It's the good luck shirt. And they start saying to me things to me like, "Oh, don't wash it for a week. Keep wearing it. It'll bring you good luck." As for topics wise, I can't really think of anything that like jumps to my head right now.
Well, I do have a couple last things that I guess I'll cover with you then. One is, well, I'm gonna ask for 3 shoutouts, but I guess beforehand, I would like to just ask kind of like what maybe some of your goals for just the next year or so in regards to the game and IRL. Anything you're kind
Carry
of
on pet hunting. I am wanting to get a new job, but it's like I am enjoying streaming, and right now I make enough that I can continue my life how it is. But as inflation happens, I've got to get some priorities, I guess. But yeah, just continue pet hunting, stay in Valiance, have a good time, try to stream as much as I have been, maybe try and push myself more to stream more.
Yeah,
So
well,
when you're trying to juggle a job with it, it could be quite tiring, and trying to fit real life things in between.
for sure, yeah.
Then every time I have a day off, I always get a DM. Why are you not live? Why are you not live? And it's like, I just want a day to myself.
Yeah. No, keep pushing. I think you really do have what it takes to be like a pretty decent size creator with just how you take streaming, and you're just really interactive with the chat and everything. It looks like you're having a good time. So keep it up, man.
I mean, the chat's like everything, really.
Yeah,
it really
awesome.
is.
That's the way to stream though. Is seriously for the chat. So. Okay, I'm gonna ask you for 3 shout outs from the community.
So it can be anyone from the community.
Anybody, yeah.
We've already went over Nova C. Cool, so shout out Nova C. Just any player in general, or content creators, or
Anybody.
This is someone that's not streaming in a while as well. Connor OSRS.
Yes.
I know that I speak to him occasionally. I miss him streaming a lot. I know that he did pick it up a bit for a while, and he's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I've always appreciated him. And also shout out Hugo, who started streaming, who used to be an Ironman, the Ironed.
Oh yeah.
I miss him. But he's doing well for himself as well. I think I managed to catch his first ever stream, and he's been doing well for himself, so I'm happy for him.
That's cool. Yeah, those are some good shout outs. I just started following Hugo a minute ago. He was doing some BH back when it was first out. I don't know what he's doing right now, but yeah.
He tends to do a lot of speed content. That's what he used to do as an Ironman as well. He's good at it. He's a nice guy. He's always been nice to me.
Yeah.
He's always had nice words to say.
Yeah, he seems really nice. Connor as well. I miss that guy. I used to watch his stream a lot when I first started streaming.
Yeah. Actually, going back to the inspirations, I guess, in a way he was as well, because his account's kind of like similar to mine in terms of like how much bossing we've done, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he's always been very nice to me.
Yeah.
Positive guy.
Okay, well, Badman, this was really nice. This was great talking. Definitely in the future, I would love to have you back on. Maybe I was even thinking, I was like, what if we had like a Nova C Badman episode? Like just later down.
Surely we can get Nova C to go again. Surely.
Oh yeah. But there's got to be some new content coming out so we can talk about some.
Yes, that's in the developers' hands, and I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity.
No, this is great.
I appreciate it a lot. So thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. So guys listening, down in the description, as I said earlier on, go click on Badman's Twitch and Twitter. Go drop him a follow. Really great streamer. Streams in the mornings for American times. Yeah. What are the times you normally go live? Are there like?
It is kind of like guesstimated. I do have it written down. Give me a second. So most Sundays I go live. It's kind of just like an hour after I wake up. So say 9 a.m., 10 a.m.
Okay, and this is UK time.
Yeah, this is So I'll explain it in UTC.
Okay.
I guess it might be a bit easier. So usually 10 a.m. UTC Sundays. Trying to convert it in my head. About midday Monday, midday Tuesday, Wednesday about 10 a.m. Thursday I'm off. Friday it's a bit later on. It's usually at about 2 UTC. No, 1 UTC. Sorry, it's confusing. I'm trying to convert it in my head as I go along.
Yeah,
And
you're
Saturday
good.
I'm usually not live as well.
Okay.
So, but it's like consistent. The days are consistent. There's usually like maybe an hour give or take in between.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
on like Wednesday, it depends if the game goes down from the update and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I've been really enjoying your stream, and I'm sure if you guys are interested in finding a new streamer, you'd love Badman's stream. He's been currently grinding some Zammy. It's obviously going to be continuing grinding God Wars for his pets, so go check him out. Also, if you guys would like to support the cast, there's a Patreon link down in the description as well. And next week, we are going to be having Con number 1 on the cast. And you've probably recognized his name if you've ever been in a Hey Jay stream. So, yeah, he's got a lot of... he first of all, he loves old school RuneScape, and he's got a lot of spicy takes on some things. So, I'm excited to talk to him next week. So, look forward to that, guys. And, yeah, we will catch you in the next one. Peace. Thank you again, Badman.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.